Now, I'm really excited to have you guys on here. Like I mentioned before, you guys are my very first couple, right? The very first two people who are on here. So I know you guys are going to kill it.
Yeah.
So I have Ace, I have Gabrielle. Guys, tell me about yourself. Obviously, we'll start with the lady first.
I have no idea who I am. So I'm Gabrielle. I'm an actress. I'm a plant lover.
What?
Yeah.
Help me with these plants. I'm just trying to keep them alive. That's my only goal. Keep these plants alive.
Right. I'm actually not the best at gardening, but I make food, so vegan food.
Chef.
Yes. I do that. I just live my life. I don't know. I'm very happy. I live a good life.
That's good. How long you been vegan?
Whoa, 8 years.
8 years?
My freshman year in college, I decided, I gained 15 pounds, as you do in college, and I decided that wasn't cute for me. Was not a cute look. And so I remember it was a tailgate. I went to OU, and I think it was OU versus A&M. And so my family had a huge tailgate with nachos and, all the bad things, because my family is not health conscious at all. Mm-hmm. And so I gorged myself. And in the past, I had struggled with eating disorders and whatnot, as every woman does. But so I just gorged myself on all this food. And then the next morning I woke up and decided I was going to be vegan, because I don't know.
Overnight, cold turkey.
Overnight. I mean, there was no let me transition, let me slow into it. No, it was nope, today's the day. And I watched, all the documentaries I could. I had no idea what was vegan. I didn't even know butter was an animal product. I thought the only thing I could eat was truly vegetables and fruits and seeds and nuts, which,
But why was that your go-to? Why was that?
Vegan?
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know.
It just came to you in a dream.
It came to me. I do think it's the universe or God or whatever, the earth.
The cycle.
Yeah, the cycle, saying that this is what you should do next, because it changed my life and whatnot. But
trust me, I know the feeling. I went kind of cold turkey as well. So you're vegan as well?
Yeah. I went vegan. A year ago, July
nice.
9th, I think,
nice.
something like that. Yeah. And we had been dating already for a year, and she had been posting about this video, this TV show on Netflix, What the Health or whatever. She's she's like, I really want my family to watch it and stuff. And she didn't tell me to watch it, but she was like, I think I'm gonna tell my family to watch it because it's a really good documentary or whatever. And then I saw a bunch of people posting about it. So I was like, oh, I'm home. She was in New York at the time because she was doing a show. But I was at home and I was like, let me just watch it. Let me put it on, And I'm kind of I guess a little bit of a pride thing. I didn't want to know. I didn't want her to know I was watching it until I had watched it. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to watch it because she told me to watch it. I just wanted to just do it, And then I didn't want her to hang that over my head, oh, you did this, cause so whatever. Mm-hmm. So I went in and I just turned it on or whatever. She was she called me, in the middle of the movie. She called me. She was like, baby, listen, I really want you to watch this. And it's okay if you don't want to watch it. I was like, I'm already watching it. I'll call you back. Whatever. She was like, you're watching it? I'm like, yeah, I'm
That's
watching
exactly how I sound.
And then afterwards, after I watched it, I was like, damn, I really should do this, And it wasn't difficult because I was raised Seventh-day Adventist, so so we grew up not eating any red meat, no pork, no shellfish or anything like that. When my parents got divorced, I started eating shellfish and I started eating red meat again and stuff. But then I had after a certain point when my dad remarried, his wife was vegetarian or lacto-vegetarian, and so I started introducing so I started like kind of transitioning into that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, okay, let me try to see what that is like, you know, like what vegetarianism is like, because my science teacher was like real big on like, you know, the earth and eating healthy and, you know, and feeding yourself, you know, treating your body well. And so after that, I was like, you know, she showed us a documentary, and I cut out dairy, and I cut out all dairy, and I cut out I cut out everything except for
butter, dairy,
except for fish, and then I cut out fish after a year of that, and so I was vegetarian for 2 years, and then I switched back after that 2-year mark. I think when I went to college, I went to Thanksgiving, and it was a wrap.
Oh yeah,
like,
forget it. You got around
like,
that good.
Yeah,
that good
man. I mean,
food.
like my family's Jamaican, like making the good like
the
oxtail. Oh my God,
there you go.
Yeah, bro, and like, you know, and then chicken and like, you know, brown
Jerk
stew chicken and
brown
jerk,
stew.
yeah, it was
man.
like, it was a wrap for me. So I was like, oh, you know, I'll start eating that again. And then I didn't really like the taste of red meat. So after I had eaten that, I like cut it out, and I was like, you know, I'm not gonna eat any red meat anymore.
It's so heavy, man.
Yeah, man. It
Even
made me
people who are not vegan, like they admit, like when they have a steak the next morning, they feel it.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are, you feel it.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? My stepdad had gone to Checkers, and he was like, oh, you guys want something? I was like, oh yeah, just give me the number one, because like I used to, when I was a kid, I got the number one everything, but I had never been to Checkers before, and Checkers is based in Miami and like the lower
I think there's
south.
a couple out here.
Yeah, I think it's Rallies. It's like Checkers and Rallies are the two companies. It's basically the same company, but I was like, give me the number one. The number one was a 4 patty burger. Yo, with 4 slices of cheese, a slice of onion, and no greens on it, nothing.
Straight heart attack burger.
Yo, I bit into it. I was like, oh my God, like how do people eat this? And so after that, I cut out red meat. So from that moment until I met Gabrielle, I was eating just chicken and fish and stuff, and I would eat shrimp and stuff. I like shellfish, and my staple meal was eggs. You know, like eggs breakfast. Like that's like I need my breakfast. You know, like I would go to every trip I would take. I would go to Burger King. Burger King. I would love it if my flight was early in the morning and they had a Burger King inside the airport. I would go to Burger King, get an egg and cheese croissant and like extra hash browns, and like that was my thing, you know.
So you must have been killing IHOP.
IHOP. Oh my God, yo, I would go to IHOP by myself. Like real talk. Like if I was having a hard day, like this was real talk. Before I met Gabrielle, if I was having a hard day, I would just pull up at IHOP and just like,
that's how let me get
I'd be like, let me get the 2-egg breakfast. Let me get the 2-egg breakfast. Let me get this. Let me get the pancakes. I want 2 pancakes. I want extra hash browns. I want all of that, and they make it good, you know. And then they got to know my name in there. You know, oh Ace, what's up? Like, oh, you know, I'm knowing the staff on a first name basis. You know, and but so when I watched the video, I was like, oh man, like I really got to do this, you know, and just like all of the benefits for the environment, for your own personal health, for the economy, just ethically. I mean, like what it's doing to what they're doing to the planet, to the planet, but to African Americans, like putting these farms and these pesticides in those communities, in the poorer communities, and forcing them to live there, and forcing this disease, thus getting them sick, so they like just die off, you know, basically, you know, keep killing them, and forcing them into this world, like. That the story of like every Sunday, this woman would have her family over for Sunday church, and that's the day that they would spray the manure. And she asked them to stop. They would do it anyway. They would spray the manure, the pesticides everywhere in the area. And so it's like they're just trying to push this community out. Like the stuff like that, really, like the ethical, the principles of it all. And I was like, I really got to do this. I just went grocery shopping. Today. I went to Costco, bought a big, bulk of everything, and I just bought a bulk of egg whites. So I looked into my fridge, and I was like, all right, I just got all this tuna, I got all these frozen chicken fillets, these thigh fillets. I got all of this stuff. Should I like eat it off or not? Let me throw it away. Threw everything away. Threw it all away, except the egg whites.
You couldn't let that one go.
Let that go. I was like, this is about a week of egg whites. I could eat the rest of this, and then I'll go vegan. And so truly, I had eaten everything. I had thrown away everything except the egg whites, and then every morning I would just eat those. And then I haven't eaten eggs. I haven't gone back since. So
it's nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it doesn't hurt to have a lady who actually cooks.
Yeah, man.
Right. That's a big plus, a big benefit. So she introduced you to some foods.
Yeah. You know what was crazy too is like, I'm not like foreign to cooking or anything. Like I've cooked before, and I lived by myself primarily for 6 years before we met. So so cooking wasn't foreign to me, and it was cool because when we met, I wasn't like opposed to vegan. Some people are like, oh, that's a deal breaker. Like, what, you eat only vegetables? That's crazy, But like for me, it was like, oh, cool. You eat vegan? I know vegans. I know some people that eat that way, and it's no problem for me. I don't eat red meat, and I have different ways of eating from other people, from a lot of people in Dallas. Big barbecue city.
Yeah, definitely got to talk about that.
Yeah, so it was, it's no problem for me, and she cooked for me one time, and I was like, oh, I really want you to try some Jamaican food. I always go to Elaine's Kitchen, which is down in South Dallas, the Jamaican spot, but like you can't really go there. There's not really anything you could eat except the rice and peas, but so let's try to figure out a way to make these recipes vegan, like
try
and so
to Caribbeanize it.
Exactly. So I called up my mom and I was like, hey mom, what goes into what goes into
brown
this, what goes
stew.
into that? Brown stew was the main thing I wanted her to try. So I was like, you know what, we could probably just make the brown stew but just use potatoes as our like main thing, and so that's exactly what we did. We just got the recipe from my mom and like made up some of our own brown stew. Then we would like experiment. It was good the first time. Then we would like experiment with it, experiment with the flavors. Then we did rice and peas, which is obviously already vegan,
and we made it purple too. That
we made
fun.
the purple stew. So what we did was we was like, oh, let's try these purple russet potatoes, and like we had cooked them for too long, so the purple had seeped into the water, and we was like, all right, bet purple, and it turned the whole thing purple. And this was for Thanksgiving. So like our whole Thanksgiving feast was
you guys got creative with it.
And this was his first vegan Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that was my
our first Thanksgiving together.
What's up?
Yeah, it was cool.
We made so much food. I've never eaten that much food
I've
in my life.
never in my life eaten that much food on Thanksgiving.
So I know where to go to this year to get a plate.
Oh yeah, definitely. We're definitely gonna do something this year, especially because of the place we live in now.
Yeah,
but
have like a feast of sorts.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Okay.
The food. I mean,
we got one guest for sure.
For sure.
But it's been cool because like we've seen each other's like work evolved since we've met. Me introducing just some of the Caribbean flavors and stuff, and her introducing to me like how basic cooking is. Like in my mind, I had cooked before, but like I didn't realize how simple it was to just make a dish, like and it really starts from oil, onions, like, and then you make anything, like throw anything else in the pan, and you got throw anything else in the pan, then you end with spinach. Like that's the way I tell anybody now. I'm like, when you start with oil, put in some onions, and then end with spinach. Whatever else you put in there, end with spinach. Just throw some spinach in there. You got your greens. Bam, like you good.
That's it.
And so I mean, it's so easy. It's so easy. And like I'll teach classes, like I teach not vegan classes, but I teach like my acting classes and stuff. And like these people are in South Dallas. They don't know. They're not educated on veganism at all. And so they're like, if you was hungry right now, what would you eat? I'm like, I would go to the store and get some vegetables. I'll eat everything.
Everything.
Yeah, I can eat anything.
Bro.
It's everywhere. Like I could probably eat vegan. I could probably eat vegan at any restaurant. Any restaurant, right? Except for like Hooters. I mean there's some places that like just throw butter in everything, and that's
Hooters
the problem.
Is the worst,
but like if you just really think about it, and I didn't think like this until I met her. Like if you really just take out the dairy, take out the meat, you can eat everything else.
Everything,
else. Like there is so much, a world opens up. Like you can try so many different things.
It's true.
And it doesn't take as long to cook because you don't have to wait for the meat.
Oh yeah, you don't have to season.
You don't have to season it. It doesn't cost as much because the meat is the most expensive thing on the plate. And you don't have to eat near, like you can eat more of what you're taking. Of what you're taking in, right? You can have more of those flavors, right? When you have that meat, it's like, oh, I got this steak and this is all I can eat, and a little bit of the flavor, right? But if you take off the steak, add in the rice, add in the potatoes, add in all the other stuff, the peppers, the everything else, you could eat that, and it's.
But our people don't like to cook. They don't like to make their own food, and so that it's so much easier to walk into a restaurant, a McDonald's, a KFC, a Popeyes, get some food, and walk out. Right.
That's why those companies need to create options.
In that, they don't want to make their own food, but there's yet so much pride in the food that they eat. Like how, like you're basically putting food that you didn't create on a pedestal. Scrap food on a pedestal.
It's truly, it feels almost like a new form of slavery, like in a different way.
Man.
The way we
control
kind of
us
think
with the
about
food.
Because
absolutely.
I mean, it's just another way, really, to kind of kill off the black community in a different way. But this way is through heart disease and diabetes.
Let's put a KFC in the poor neighborhoods. Let's put a Church's Chicken. Let's put Hooters.
Kill them off.
Let's put
It's crazy when you really break it down to that.
Is that how you kind of came up with One Great Vegan? Like that whole concept, was that something you guys kind of came together and just decided on?
Yeah. So basically, I was living in New York. I was doing a show off Broadway, and I was like, I'm in this cool city for 3 months, might as well take pictures of the food I'm eating. And I had a really, really nice apartment that I was staying in and had great lighting. It was like natural lighting. And so I started taking photos of, little plates I put together or whatnot. And she was like, I really want to start a company and all this stuff. And I'm like, so I'm a designer as well, graphic designer and photographer. So I was thinking visually.
Of many hats.
Yes.
I was thinking.
There's a lot of hats at home. So.
Seriously, I have a whole wall of hats, but I'm all visual based like I function from the branding. Okay, what's the brand, and then what's all the products? Like, because if you have the brand is strong, then you could build from there. So I became obsessed with this idea of GR, right, being her name, Gabrielle Reyes, eat, great, right, great. GR eat. It spells great. And so I became obsessed with that idea, and I was like, I have an idea for a logo that I want to make for her. GR eats, like, and I was thinking about that, like, is it GR eats? Should it be great? Like the fact that they're together, all of that stuff. And then so I told her about it. I was like, yo, it should be something with great in it. And then she was looking up like great vegan or like, I'm great or something.
I don't even know how I got one, the letter or the word one.
Well, I think it came from, we were looking for Instagram handles and things that matched up.
That's where we started.
Instagram handles and websites. So that's how I think, because I'm like, you can have a great name, but if somebody owns the domain, then like it don't even matter. So we were looking up Instagram handles, and I was like, it would be cool if it like started from the one, like the great one, or like a great one, something like that. So we just like playing with combinations and permutations of handles, and that's how we came up with the name. And like we were just tossing names back and forth.
And I wanted it to, of course, include vegan in it, because I wanted there to be no questions about what was going down. And it didn't really start as what it is now. It kind of just started as me posting pictures, and it was kind of a consultation, a health nutrition coach.
She was like basically how fitness
will create a menu. I would create a menu for somebody and budgeted the grocery list, which I still do today, but that's not nearly what it has become. And
that's not the breadwinner.
No. And it's crazy to look back, at the very first like Instagram posts, and that's where it all began, is on Instagram, and because of his branding. So yeah, it's a meal prep, right? So talk to me further about it, because it's not like you're just a chef, and like you have an actual system in place. So talk about that. Oh, I love it. I just delivered some meal prep today, and basically what you do is, as a consumer, as an eater, you would contact me and be like, hey, I want to do meal prep. I want to do plant-based meal prep. And so I would send them a menu. It's over about 90 items that you can choose from. It's Italian, it's Mexican, it's Caribbean, it's breakfast, it's, raw vegan. I have a whole section. I have desserts. So basically you choose from that however many meals you want. It can be 1 meal, it could be 2 meals, it can be 17 meals. And I just introduced monthly meals. So you can get a month worth of meals. And it can be anything. And if there's something specifically that person wants, that they're like, man, I really want some steak, I'll figure it out, okay? I've had 8 years of having to figure it out because I went to school in Oklahoma. There was no vegan option, so I had to make all my food. And so basically creating anything you want to veganize is what I specialize in. And making it just taste like food you've always known and love. And then once I make all the food, it takes about 24 to 48 hours for me to get out a client's menu. Once I make that food, I deliver it to them, or depending on where in DFW they are, or they can come and pick it up from me.
That's good. So you're starting local, gotta build it, and then eventually you can kind of branch out.
Yeah, I mean, we have big plans. We definitely have plans for a restaurant and food trucks and, obviously things like that. But right now it's just fun making cool food and finding out what people like and don't like and kind of just figuring out the puzzle pieces of what the brand is. And that's only just like part of it too, which is crazy.
Yeah. What I'm really excited about is the cooking classes. So
talk to me about that.
She did her first one last week,
like 2 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago, for a woman's birthday, and the woman had got it. She was a surprise for her wife, nice. Yeah, and it was great. I mean, they loved it. They were just having such a good time. They would say, "Oh, we got to tell our friends. Like, it would be cool if we did this." And then we did it in our apartment complexes, like open kitchen. So they have they have a kitchen for the complex.
I think I've seen that too. Yeah,
and it's like a professional like open kitchen. It's dope. It's beautiful.
There's like a camera that you record.
But what's cool is that it's right outside the leasing office. So the leasing agents were like walking by. They were like, "Oh my God, it smells so good!" And then she came in and was like, "Hey, so like, are you gonna do like a presentation for us? Like maybe you could do one for us." She was like, "Yeah."
Smart.
She was like, hell yeah!" Like, so I'm excited about that, and like it's beautiful. And then what's more is that
because that's the hard part. It's finding a venue. I was just gonna ask. I'm like, where did you do it?
Yeah, but
that's why we got the place.
Yeah, that's really because when we moved in, we were looking at all these different spots, and she was like, "Baby, this kitchen, like this is awesome. Like I would just get it for the kitchen, And we was like, oh, bet, moved in, signed the lease like
that
4 months before we even moved in.
Before it was even built, we signed the lease because of that kitchen. Because we saw it.
We didn't even see our apartment.
No, we didn't see our apartment.
It's the same thing here. I have not seen it until I moved in.
Oh wow! Yeah. But it was crazy because, I mean, we saw it obviously as a opportunity we were going to spend more money, but we're going to make more money and change more lives, in a way, because he can do his photography there. We had a whole photo shoot. We shot a commercial there like 2 days ago. And
it's awesome.
It's really an incredible space, and it's opened up so many doors. And what was really cool about that client was that she'd just been diagnosed with diabetes. And she was just trying to learn. And my favorite, I wish I could have captured it in some way. She was like, it's so nice to know that I already have all of these ingredients at home. Because we were making like chili really and tacos. And I mean, if you got black
people
beans.
People overcomplicate it. It's not that.
And that's what I love about One Great Vegan is truly like simplifying, because simplifying and making it as least expensive as it can be. My meals only go from start at $8, which is way cheaper than you're gonna find. Any.
I mean, it's cheaper than even like just going to the store. And buying it. You expect to spend $10 on a meal.
Exactly.
Cheapest thing, especially downtown if you're in this area.
If you're looking for something, and I
it's
don't know,
good. It's like personalized. It's what you want. Like. It's not like you're choosing from like a menu of 8 options. Like you can choose whatever you want. You want some Chick-fil-A nuggets? Like you got them. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it's not even a joke.
Yeah. So you do desserts too.
Yes.
The whole nine?
And I have another friend. She just started a dessert company. Oh, she should come on here. She would. Yeah.
I think I know who you're talking about. What does she do?
Ayana,
she does
plant-based.
She does
sweets.
Donuts. Is it?
She does anything like.
She does like a lot of cake balls and cookies. Like that's the main thing that she sells, but she does anything.
Yeah,
she can do anything. I mean, she makes her specialty is this sopapilla cheesecake. Bro. Oh my god! Like for real, like when she comes to parties, people look for the cheesecake instead of her. Like what? Real talk, like cheesecake. It was like, hey, so like I noticed you ain't bring the cheesecake. Like
you know, I haven't had cheesecake since I've been vegan.
Oh my god!
In New York, I used to go to before I was vegan. I used to go to Junior's. Who doesn't know?
Junior's. Yeah.
And then it was red velvet. It kind of shifted from cheesecake to red velvet. And so I was like, man, where am I gonna get my desserts? I seen red velvet veganized. But I haven't seen like a really good.
This cheesecake.
This will change your life.
Will change your life. It changed my life.
You'll be like, oh yeah,
I had an awakening.
Yeah.
Bet. I'm
Is
done.
that serious?
Yeah. Oh, it's better than Cinnaholic. It's better than
anything I've ever eaten in my life. And this peach cobbler too. Right. You just need to hit her up. You need to find out where she at.
You got to give me her info. I got to get her on here.
Yes.
So she's building from the inside out.
Yeah,
that's what's up.
Yeah.
I could appreciate that. So you guys, you mentioned the acting as well, and that's something that both of you guys do, right? So it's not one or the other. Both of you guys.
That's how we met.
That's how you guys met.
Yeah.
So how did that happen?
Oh wow!
Yeah, I mean,
okay, so literally 2 days ago was our 2 year of meeting each other.
Nice,
and we met.
Congratulations, guys! Congratulations!
Thank you. I'm very happy. But our friend Connor Palmore, he's a director in the Dallas area. Okay. He had assistant directed me in Dreamgirls at Dallas Theater Center, where we both work, and so he asked me to do this 1 minute play festival. And when I got there the first day, you know, I mean, like, I don't know, I was looking rough, whatever I was doing. But just kind of hanging out and doing the production that day, and then...
Yeah, because what it is like, all right, so the 1 minute play festival is a festival that happens every year. Okay. It's a festival of literally 60 1 minute plays.
Or 80, there was 82
there's 80 this year, 82
okay.
or something like that. But it's all 1 minute. They have to be 1 minute long, but they're written from like 80 different artists all over the community, right? Okay. So anybody could write a play and submit it, and part of it, and all the proceeds are donated to charities of some kind, and they choose a different one every year. But then each of those 80 is split up into like 10 groups, right? And then those 10 groups have like 6 or 7 actors in them, right? So like, and then it's really like it's 10 different directors, right? For 10 different directors with all of their group directing their section of plays. And you do that. You rehearse with your director, on your own time, however much your director wants to direct. So we had different directors. Obviously, we didn't meet until the tech day, which is when they, work on the lights and make sure that the sound is good and all of that. So on our tech day, we're called from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. was when
like 11.
8 is when the show starts or something. It's 12 hours.
Mind you, for free.
And you're not doing it for anything. I mean, it's a festival. It's all donated.
Right. Yeah. It's a great way to kind of also improve your skills, right? And
no, it's cool. But it's a cool thing because it's like kind of a fraternal thing. Like
I didn't know they donated money. This is news to me.
Yeah, like all of the because the tickets are $20.
Oh yeah.
But but all of the actors in the community kind of get together and that and you've worked with. It's kind of cool. You get to do this thing with them, and most of them are funny. Some of them are serious, and sometimes it gets a little like dramatic
in between.
but it's just a cool variety of like art in Dallas, which is kind of a cool concept.
And I did it because my friend was directing me, but also I was new to Dallas. This was my 4th month living in Dallas, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll sign up for anything or whatever.
And my director hit me up actually because somebody else had dropped out. So like, so we ended up meeting on the day, but we ended up meeting on a day, and I'm always late to everything. I'm always late to everything, and so this is not. So I'm always late to everything, right? And obviously I was late to this too. So I show up.
A little bit. Half hour or so.
Yeah, half hour. I mean, a little bit. So I show up late or whatever. The leader of the whole thing, the guy that started the whole thing, is talking to the group. And so like the way that this theater is set up is like one section, and that whole section was full, but there's two sections on the side.
remember you sitting
so like
over there.
I walk in, I'm like late, show up, sit on the side, and so I can see everybody. Like I'm the only one with this perspective, right? So I can see everybody, and he's talking in front of me. And so I look up and I see this girl that reminds me of my ex-girlfriend, right? And this is like the one that got away, like, ex-girlfriend, like, like
Never
pined
get the
after
one
her.
that got
Yeah,
away.
like pined after her, like, and what's crazy is like she had blocked me on everything, like every social media. Like I don't have no contact with her. I don't know what she's up to. I don't know what she looks
It's
like.
just showing up at the crib unannounced. She put the restraining order out. The social media restraining order. That's when you just
Damn,
block
that's
everything.
real.
You're
Right.
like,
Oh my
are you
God.
still alive?
Real
So
talk. Like
real.
you don't even have to do it on
Yeah.
through the courts anymore. You just
It's
do it
social
on
media.
She blocked me.
Yeah, done. Yeah,
Shots
in the
fired.
forbidden territory. But yeah. So after that, like we didn't talk or anything. I just like that happened, and then we were like about to start rehearsal, and so I would like went in the car, and I'm like looking up, like Mary, this girl, and I'm like, she gotta be here somewhere, like I gotta be just see what she's up to, because like this was my first time in 2 years really like thinking about her, and so I'm like, all right, let me just check up on her or whatever, and I couldn't find anything, and so that whole day, like while the whole 12 hours or whatever, we're like standing in the same circles because we know similar people, we're talking to people, we never exchange words. And I'm like this girl looks so much like her, like it's crazy. And she would talk, and I'm like, damn, she kind of even sounds like her a little bit. Like I'm like going, I'm going crazy right now. And she had no idea,
No,
And
there was
so,
one point where we stood in the same
yeah,
circle
we
together. 'cause he
literally
went to
stood in the
SMU.
same circle. Literally stood in the same circle.
So you got the 1 minute play. You guys were not in the same one.
No,
We're not in the same
We
group.
weren't in the same group.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're not in the same group, so we didn't do any plays to we didn't perform together at all.
Okay.
And in fact, like her group was right behind mine, so I didn't see. So I saw her performance. She didn't see my performance. So like she had no idea really that I existed. She didn't think anything of me. So after the rehearsal, like I sit right behind her. And like she's like everybody has this open forum discussion, and I raise my hand and I say something, and she looked back. She's like, "Oh, like who's this dude?" Whatever. And she told me that, like,
words?
what? Because I guess I was speaking like I don't know. I
He
said
was the
something
only
like,
opposing view in the conversation
yes,
people were having.
because it was.
and I remember that.
Oh my god!
It
And I'll
was
tell
so
you about
annoying.
that in a second. But what?
I
No,
don't remember.
You wasn't feeling the
no. So
that.
all right, I'll just get into it. But like basically, what it is that a lot of the
people
people that
complaining.
end up doing the 1 minute play festival are actors that haven't gotten to act at certain theaters, right? Some of the bigger name theaters.
Okay.
And so a lot of them are upset. They're very jaded, which is understandable. I mean, you're in this community and you feel like you're not getting work. And so, but there was kind of like a thing about, like there was kind of a
Working
stigma,
there.
like if
Yeah.
you've worked at one of these theaters, if you've worked at Dallas Theater Center, then
Your opinion is worth more than the next
yeah,
one.
like or not
No, it was
not
like a
necessarily. It was
negative.
like it was a negative thing. Like oh, like Dallas Theater Center only cast
Uppity.
people from New York,
Sedity.
or like they go outside. They don't cast any local people. Like I've been trying, whatever. So like, so I was saying, basically, the guy was asking, "What do you like about Dallas?" And I was like, I love that there's so much opportunity to just do stuff. Like if you want to create something, you can create it. You can make a theater company. If you go to New York or whatever, like you got to find space. You got to find, like then you got to pay for everything. Like it's just
Small
so
fish,
hard.
big
Yeah,
pond.
it's so hard to come around. So some of the things that you have in Dallas. In Dallas, you can find the space. Like it might be a found space. Like it might be in a warehouse or
Like
something.
here.
But yeah, but it's still like you can find it, and it's not like
No one will
it's not
charge
like
you.
packed in like sardines and stuff. Like people aren't gonna charge you. It's not a big deal. If you want to start a vegan catering company, like you could just start it up and like make money.
Yep.
In New York,
I
there's
agree.
thousands of people trying to do the same
Same
thing
thing.
as you.
I can't
Millions
even
of people.
imagine people like, trying to do
and
what
so
I do. In
and so
New York.
like it's understandable that they're jaded, but to a certain extent, it's like, bro, like
So you took it personally as somebody who's living in Dallas, and you're like, yo, there's opportunity.
I'm making it.
But then they acting like,
so that's what I said, and then somebody was like, I'd like to say there's not a lot of opportunity because like I've tried to do this and I've tried to do that and
crazy,
try harder. You know?
Yeah, what's crazy is that I had just started. The first place I ever worked was Dallas Theater Center, and I was doing a show for them that same time.
It's the only regional theater in the state.
Yeah.
It was one of two,
and so,
which is the other one is in Houston.
Yeah, I celebrated them. I was thinking like, wow, Dallas Theater Center is awesome. And like I'm walking into this thinking like everybody would just be like so happy and joyous. But like,
and
there
me
was
too, because that's my
cloud.
full-time job.
Yeah, because he worked there.
That was I was a full-time company. I was a company member there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm doing this, but like, and I didn't realize because I'm equity, I wasn't supposed to be doing the project, but I should, like, it's because like I should have been, like, because it wasn't paying. Like, basically, I have to get paid for the work that I do.
I see.
Or whatever.
Conflict of interest.
Yeah,
there.
exactly. So I shouldn't have even been there, but it was interesting to hear all these jaded opinions about like.
And I agreed with him. I remember being like, I agree with you, but like you're going against what everybody else is saying. Interesting, like noting that.
Because I was the only one, like truly, I was like, Dallas is great, like all this opportunity. Everybody's like, what? Dallas is problematic, whatever. So anyway, so then we like
Ace's Places was born.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. Let me tell y'all all the great things about Dallas. But not so
I met there.
Yeah.
But what happened was at the end of the performance, I was like, let me just say something to this chick. Like, 12 hours have passed. You know, and I'm like, let me just introduce myself or whatever. I'm like, hey, what's going on? You know, my name is Ace. You know, do you go to SMU? Do you go to school around here? She was like, no, I'm from Oklahoma, whatever. I work at, I'm doing a play at Dallas Theater Center. I'm like, oh, cool. What play did you do? You know, what play are you doing? She's like, oh, I'm doing this new play. And I was just in Bella. I was just in Dreamgirls, and I was like, oh, snap, I saw Dreamgirls. And she was like, oh, cool. Like, I'm about to do this other play, and then I'm going to do Christmas Carol after that. I'm like, I'm in Christmas Carol. Who are you playing? And we was like, oh, I'm playing your girlfriend. Like we were playing opposite
Fiancés,
each other. Yeah.
I see.
In the next show we were doing. And that was like crazy. I was like, oh snap.
And that was like truly like an instant connection, because from that moment I was like, oh damn, he's talented. Like to work.
There's so many different things.
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't even know about half the other stuff. I just knew he was an actor.
She just knew.
But I knew he was a company member, and that's like a very acclaimed,
prestigious. It's only one of 8. I was one of 8
Yeah.
in the city, basically.
And so I was like, whoop, Zip, hey, you cute. Hey, what's up? What you doing later? You know what
she was like, and so everybody, so the guy, nobody really liked the lead director, the guy that started it. So he was always like, oh, let's go out to drinks.
And we're all like,
and her group was like, we don't like them. We're going to go to this other place for drinks. You want to come? And I was like, oh, bet. Yeah, I was like, oh, bet. I'll come, show up. And like, my phone had broken, like all of this stuff. So I couldn't even get in contact with her. We had left. Or no, this was the second day.
No, this was the first night we went to.
The first, so the first night we had gone to Tacos and Tequila, whatever. We're up there, and your friend was there, Blake. Blake was there, and this was her roommate. But like he didn't know that. I didn't know it. I didn't know that. I was like, I'm just like scouting out. I'm like, is this her boyfriend?
Right.
Who is this dude?
Playing
or whatever.
the cut.
And then I saw like he had like a little bit of a feminine side, and I was like, oh, okay, I see what's going on here. So, and I was like, oh, okay, this is her. This is
take him out the list.
And so like, what's crazy is like, I was like, oh, let me buy everybody shots. When I tell you, Hurts, like I was the brokest I've ever been in my life.
See what happens? Trying to impress the
I'm
lady.
trying to impress her, yo. Trying to impress this chick, yo. Who I just met. Like I'm buying everybody shots. So I bought 7 shots.
And so I'm thinking he's
$80. I'm like, let me buy $80 worth of shots.
$80
like,
well spent.
Yeah, but like she was like, oh my god, this guy is so cool or whatever. So like we have a good time, like we dance, like and I'm not for the booty dancing, like I don't really dig that, And so like I love salsa, I used to go with one of my good friends. We used to go to
you're Jamaican too.
Yeah.
Don't let them. I know there's a Jamaican listening to this. What do you mean?
Like slow wine. No, but no, but nah. So like that's not really my thing. Like I just. like I'm not trying to have sex with you in the club right here.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I love that too. I was the exact same way.
Yeah.
And I was like so entranced.
So I'm like spinning her around, dancing,
Like what
kind of
we
like how
did.
we were
Yeah.
just doing. I'm like spinning her around, dancing and stuff. She's like, oh wow, At the end, like people were starting to leave or we're leaving, and her roommate left too. I'm like, oh, okay, so she's gonna stay. I'm like waiting for her to be like, bye, And she's like, so where do you want to go next? And I'm like, oh, I don't know, like we could go wherever, like, any other spots around here? She was like, well, we could go back to your place. I'm like, skirt, because check this out. This whole time, I'm at the end of a year-long relationship, long-distance relationship with a girl in New York. And we had just gotten into this big fight.
So you didn't know if it was really over.
So I'm like,
exactly.
So I'm like, the whole time I'm like, dang, like this girl is really feeling me. Like it's not really normal that a chick is like pushing up like this, like, let's go back to your place. Like
the thirst.
The thirst was real.
Gab is sitting right next to him, by the way, if you're listening. Man, co-signing everything. She's just like,
I was thirsty. I was
mad.
Don't worry, blame it on alcohol. That's what you could do. Be like, I don't know.
So
the shots.
so she's like, we could go back to your place. I'm like, damn, like, I don't know if we should do that. Like, at the time I had an office space, a shared, a private office downtown for my design company. I was like, oh, we could go up to my office. And she was like, sure.
Office? I was like, office, my G? What you mean, office? Okay.
Yeah, so.
Check.
She was like, oh, I'm too drunk to drive my car. Like, she let me drive her car.
Didn't even know this,
like,
man.
did not know me at all, yo.
But
Just met me.
The vibes.
She felt the vibes, And so we went to my office, and truly, we didn't kiss or anything. We just talked the whole night.
Hours.
Until 7 a.m.
That's what's up.
Until 7 a.m. But like I could tell she's feeling me. Like we're like sitting on this couch, the light is beautiful. I don't remember any of it. She's drunk. She's like drunk or whatever. I'm like, that's not my type of thing. Like I'm not about to take advantage of her. Like we just like talking, and then she falls asleep, and I'm like sitting here mad awkward because she's leaning on me, and I'm like, dang, like, thinking about my chick back in New York,
and his phone's not working.
Yeah, and my phone's not working, so I can't even reach out to her. Like nothing. Like she don't know where I am. Nothing. Then
I wake up.
She wakes up. We're like talking. I'm like, yo. So like the crazy thing is like you really remind me of my ex-girlfriend. Like
you told her that.
Yeah, I told her, but it wasn't the girl I was dating. It was this other chick, and I'm like, you really remind me of this chick. That's why I like wanted to talk to you, and so you said you thought that I was still in love with her.
Yeah.
Which is reasonable. But like I had written a song, like I mean like everything. Like this chick was it for me at that time, And so I was just telling her about this stuff. And what was cool was that we kind of felt I felt this draw to her to be completely honest, just 100%, like no bullshit, not lying, like nothing, just tell her everything, And so I'm sitting there and like the whole time I'm like, damn, I want to kiss her, but like I can't kiss her until I tell her what's up, like, where I'm coming from with this whole thing. And so I was like, yeah, I kind of have a girlfriend right now.
Kind
and she's like, and she literally, she was like, kinda. And I was like, yeah, so like we going through this thing and this and that, and like I'm going through all this stuff, and whatever. We talk about that whole situation, and she's like, basically, and this girlfriend, she had cheated on me and stuff. So we had
gave it a whole rundown.
Yeah, so I had gave her everything, and so from there she was like, oh, I guess,
And what?
What? So like
that's how it is when they
so
feel
we still
you,
going
man.
back to your place, and I have like. Truly, like I have never felt a chick like dig me like this. Like no matter what I tell her, like I'm like thinking of lies I could tell her. Like maybe I could tell her I'm a murderer or something. Like she's still like she was down for no matter what I said, and that was crazy to me.
So Gab, what made you so comfortable with him?
Man,
like it was just
he just has a kind heart. He really does have a kind heart. He's a good man. you know, he respects women, like truly, and he respected me. And, you know, I don't mean to be like, but a lot of men hit on me daily, but this was very different. This was grounded. It was human. It was, you know, he's talented, and he truly did mark off every non-existent check, you know. And the fact that he had a girlfriend was kind of like, okay, I mean, like, she's not here right now. Like, truly, I just did not care, because I was like, you know, in Dreamgirls there's a song called One Night Only, okay? Listen.
But she really thought she wasn't going to see me again.
Never.
You know? And
I mean, we were going to be
in a show, in a play together, but, like, it wasn't about to be like we going to hang out every day.
One night, have fun, whatever. I've done, you know, you all have hookups. Like, people hook up all the time. It was kind of like, okay, whatever. You know, be honest with, you know, I promoted, like, being honest with her girlfriend and tell her, like, about me, whatever. But lo and behold, it was not one night.
Yeah, and I mean, the next, like, we ended up kissing, making out. That was it. And then, like,
very sweet
kisses, and then like the alarm clock rang to go move our cars, because we was downtown, you know, the parking meters or whatever. So we move our car. She's like, "You want to get some breakfast? I'm vegan." You know, I'm like, "Oh snap, okay. Well, I know this one place, Dream Cafe. We could go over there." And so we go to Dream Cafe. It's right by where our cars were parked, like where we were that night. So it was cool. And we end up talking. And I like show her this song, and, like, you know, like about Mary, and like these things I made and all of this stuff, and we just kind of vibe on another level.
So you write music too?
Yeah. So I'm a poet first. Like I write spoken word, but you know, I've also dabbled in, like, in Logic and GarageBand and stuff, and and so I had made a couple songs, you know, like with my friends in high school and in college as well. Like, I just put some songs together and stuff. And I had showed her my music, and, you know, just adding to the things that I do, you know. And after dinner, or after breakfast, I, like, went in for another kiss, and she was like, what?
I was like,
and I didn't know if she was gonna kiss me or whatever, and she kissed me, and then, you know,
he was like, it was like almost cartoonish. He was like,
no, it was not.
Yes, you were.
No, it was just like this.
I'm
trying to see if she was gonna meet you halfway. You hit her with the halfway
exactly.
Joint, like,
the 90-10. I was like, it was the 90-10.
No, all right, cool.
Yeah.
But he didn't say no. He was like, he kind of just lingered there, and I was like,
yeah, she gave me that look, and I was like, I don't know, I'm gonna just stay here. And she came in for the kiss, you know. And then we went home. You know, we had to come back to do the show, the rest of the show.
Oh, there was a 3-day festival, the 1 minute play festival.
So we did it that day, and then we, you know, hung out again after
that night.
But that night, that night, me and my girlfriend had gotten into this huge, like, stupid, and like she straight up was like, I don't want to talk to you, didn't pick up my phone calls, like nothing. And I was supposed to go to New York 5 days later to go see her. And, like, you know, I didn't have a phone, like nothing. So I'm trying to reach out to other people to call her and stuff like that. And that was his own thing or whatever. But we ended up hanging out again that night. Nothing happened, like, you know.
You guys took it really slow.
A kiss. It was another kiss. I mean, kind of. I mean, because by the third night, right? The third night. Now, this is the third night of my girlfriend not talking to me, right? The third night, she comes over. We have, like, a great time.
Where did we? Oh, we went to, like, Velvet Taco.
Yeah, we met. We were supposed to go to B&B.
British Brewing Company.
Yeah, BBC or whatever.
Or something.
And that was, like, kind of closed or whatever. And then we ended up going to Old Monk, and then after that shut down, we went to Velvet Taco, and then just kept talking, and after that, you know, I don't think it was that night that we went out. We went home. We both went home because you didn't want to do anything, and
the second night.
Let me ask you this though: were you, you know, obviously as a man, like when you see a woman is feeling you so much like that, were there any alarms in your head where you like, man, why you into me like that? You know, like sometimes
what was crazy is that, like, I'm very big on signs, like like it's important.
When you say
for
signs
me.
like zodiac signs, or you mean just signs
like
in terms of
signs that the universe will give you. Like
okay.
like vibes that that the universe will give you. And you know, I feel like I've really quieted my spirit, like kind of getting spiritual. Like I've quieted my spirit over the years. Like I used to be really like hot, like you know, fire, and that passion still lives underneath it all. But like you know, at the core of it all. But like you know, I've quieted my spirit to really listen to the stuff that's going on. Like you know, when I'm really like when I'm feeling a certain type of way, like I shouldn't go down that road. You know, and I've gone down that road enough. They're like, okay, I should be taking a different path, you know? And so, and things like, you know, me quitting my job and like just going full-time.
What were you doing
acting.
before? Oh, you were working at the place?
No, I was a graphic designer.
Graphic designer,
yeah,
okay.
And I was working at the Dallas Symphony Orchestra, and I got like really depressed because they weren't letting me do plays, you know? And like they were just, like my boss was just being a dick. But I've studied acting my entire life, and that was what I wanted to do. It was actually by accident or happenstance that I ended up being a graphic designer, because after I graduated I had a portfolio and I ended up like just applying for a job and they hired me. So like I jumped ship, switched this career, and then became a graphic designer. I got really depressed after that, and I was like, I'm gonna quit. I quit without any prospects, like nothing. Like I just quit, and that's when I was like broke, like just 100%, like had nothing. And it was the greatest move I ever made, because then I wouldn't have been a full-time actor, you know? So like stuff like that, or like just like I've made certain decisions in my life that didn't seem like they were smart, or like other people might have advised against it, but
leap
like
of faith.
You just feel that kind of thing, like I need to do this, you know? I need to break up, like you know, I had a business partner. I had two business partners, and like, you know, one by one I like felt the universe was like pulling us apart, and it's like, this isn't the path for us. Like we don't need to be in business together, you know. And some of them took that harder than the others, but like, you know, but that was what needed to happen. And like I wouldn't be where I am if like those ties weren't severed, because that was really killing my soul. It really messed with my relationship before Gabrielle. It really like weighed down on me. I was angry all the time, like frustrated, stressed out. And like, you know, whenever you feel that, it's like you gotta do it. Like, and it's so hard to make that decision. Like if this is your best friend that you're working with, right? Your best friend in the world, right? And you're like, I feel the need to like, we should cut ties. Like as business partners, we were living together, we shouldn't live together anymore. Like let's just separate. And that, like, I had to like meditate, I had to like talk to myself, I talked to everybody, called every family member. I'm like, I need to figure out if this is the right move. Nobody could give me the answer except for myself. Right. So anyway, long story short, with Gabrielle, I felt that like something is like,
it felt right.
Yeah, like I thought I was gonna marry this girl before, and all of a sudden this girl walks into my life on the day that we get into this huge argument. You know, on the day, like, you know, all of a sudden like these thoughts of my ex-girlfriend, like, you know, popped into my head. Like all of this stuff kind of flutters, and it's like, it's not happenstance. Like it didn't happen by accident. I see what you mean. You know, like the universe was telling me all of this stuff. Like pay attention to this. Pay attention to this chick. You know, like really watch what's happening. You know, be honest with her. You know, like, and if I had gone against that, like that I was feeling, like, be honest with, nah, she not gonna accept you, she not gonna this, she not gonna that, then we wouldn't have the foundation of our relationship that we have, because we have told each other everything. So
yeah, I think it's just the main thing that started off was the fact that he did tell me he had a girlfriend, and just honesty. I think that's the key to every relationship. Honesty and sexual health, I think, is the key to every single relationship. But I mean, we're learning. We've only known each other for 2 years. You know, we got 100 more after this.
That's right. That's right. So far, so good.
Yeah. Like we literally tell each other everything. Right?
Too much.
And what's crazy is, like, I mean, this is a story for another time, but like the whole time when, like, after that, it wasn't an easy fallout with my ex-girlfriend, because like
I can imagine
we had like when I went to New York, we had started up. We decided we were gonna like
make it work.
You know, make it work. Fuck everybody else. Fuck all this bullshit. Like we're gonna make it work. And I told Gabrielle, I was like, listen, like I know this. Like we're gonna make it work. And I told her about you. You know, but like this is the love of my life. We're gonna try to make this happen. And like all of this shit, like like the way that this shit happened is crazy, man. Because you know, when I came back to Dallas, we had like started hanging out again and stuff, and Lily and my girlfriend knew. She knew that I was hanging out with her, and like we knew, like we had decided to do an open relationship, right? Because it was long distance. You know, we weren't gonna see each other except for once a month. You know, but we were best friends, and so I was like literally like telling everybody about everything that's going on, like no secrets. And
you hear that, fellas? Gotta be honest, man. I gotta pause them for that. You hear that, fellas? Because I always preach about that. No, I preach about that. I say, look, just be honest with them. Let them know what it is. If you, whatever the case may be. And if they run away, it's like,
if they run away, that's not the right person.
Right. Let them know what it is. Let them know where you at in your life. Be honest. And if they go along, they go along. At least at the end of the day, if they can't say you lied to them, they can't say you told them something that wasn't was.
He lied to me.
Exactly.
No.
Right. And that's my thing too. I'm like, there's nothing I can do. And I told her when we started dating, I was like, listen, I can't commit to anything except being 100% honest with you. That's the only thing that I can give you. I can tell you, like, I can't tell you I'm always gonna think you're like super sexy. Or, like, I can't lie to you and say that, like, because I don't know what, you know, time changes shit. But I can tell you, like, as long as you're in my life, I will be 100% honest with you. And that's how I've been. That's how it has been. And that's the foundation that we've built. And and what's crazy is like when we first started like trying to do this thing, like this triangle love thing, you know, she, I think like maybe a month into it, she had a talk with one of her friends, a good friend of hers, and she was like, you know what, I'm gonna tell Ace that I'm gonna start seeing.
Not even a month.
It was like a week or two. Like, it was like a week or two.
Because I'm like, she was like, told each other.
I was just gonna say, I wonder how long that's gonna last.
No. She was like, I'm gonna tell Ace I'm gonna start seeing other people. And that same day, probably it happened at the same time, right? Like literally the conversations were happening at the same time. My ex-girlfriend calls me, breaks up with me, says like, I don't love you anymore. I don't care about you anymore. I don't want to see you. None of that. Like, cut off. The same day that she's saying she about to go start seeing other
So you was about to lose too.
No, but
about to lose everything.
But the crazy thing is like that window opened up because then I texted her and I'm like, hey, Lily just broke up with me. And she was like, are you okay? Comes over, we have this whole long conversation. Like it was just crazy. Like
his heart was still breaking. You know, like that's something heavy. And, I mean, it's kind of exciting because it's like, well, you know,
and that was special too because like, I mean, you don't find that like.
Yeah, I was just gonna say usually the roles is reversed. Yeah. This exact story, she's usually the one saying it, and you're usually the one like, hey, you know, she was available, she wasn't available. Right. You know, it is what it is. So it says a lot about you as well that you saw something great in him or saw something in him that you felt like, all right, you know, let me see where this is gonna go. Let's see if he figures it out, if we figure it out at the same time, and it just so happened it worked in both of your guys' favor. So that's
I tell everyone. I mean, I told him the third day we were hanging out that night, and I was like, okay, I just want to let you know I'm falling in love with you, and like that's just the truth of it. And I have a belief that the second you meet somebody who you care about or, you know, you want to pursue in some way, a little piece of you falls in love with a little piece of them. It doesn't have to be their whole self. Right. It doesn't have to be your whole self committing to loving them. But there's something that draws you into that person, you know, and it was just a bigger piece with him, you know, and it was great timing. We lived 5 minutes from each other. Yeah. You know, everything was just right.
Everything was right.
Truly.
Like she was in a really good financial place and I was in a very low financial place. And like she was helping
thriving,
me. Like she was helping me with stuff like, you know, just like helping me with like take care of little things. Like in like I got sick one time. She brought me a bunch of, you know, just get well food, you know, and that's not something that
made food
I was
for
used
him
to
because he wasn't eating a lot.
I wasn't eating a lot.
Not an easy thing to find, my friend.
Yeah, man, it was
someone who cares in a genuine way.
It was crazy, man.
I think I had a lot of love to
especially like it's hard to deny that somebody loves you when you've told them, hey, I love someone else more than you, and they're still there. Like that's crazy.
Or it's that thirst.
but that's that's how I mean that
the thirst.
But yeah, you don't really meet people like that, and and that's what rang true to me. That's what was like, oh, this is it. This is the one, you know. And like, and it's crazy because I had been with my ex-girlfriend for the same amount of time that we had been together. Or I had been with her longer than when I had decided I was going to propose to her.
Yes, I almost forgot. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, guys, you guys are actually engaged.
Yeah.
Yes, because you did mention fiance the other day. Because I'm talking to her and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know. You know, is it your boyfriend? Is it your husband? Like it's hard to. And I'm the type of person I don't. I don't believe people put everything out on social media, so I don't just see what I see on social media and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna roll with it.
Yeah.
I still, go to the source, and so of course you guys have pages and things like that, but I'm like, so you did mention that. So you guys. So how long you guys been engaged now?
For a year.
Okay. Hey, since October.
Since
October.
But, and we're not going to get married for another 2 years in 2020.
Okay.
But it was really special just because it was, we met through Dallas Theater Center and we got to be in a show together. It was the 50th anniversary of Hair. The hippie, it's like about a bunch of hippies. I don't know if you know about it. There's a lot of famous music from it. But anyways, so we got to do the show together, and it was his first musical. And one of the performances, it was like a performance 2 days after our year anniversary. And that actual day, I was mad at him. Like, we were dealing with some, like, honesty issues, to be honest. And just insecurities and things like that I had. And little did I know, man.
That was so stressful, man.
God, because I think there was one point that I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, it got that. It was there that day.
Everybody gets there. You got to get there.
Yeah.
It was, and that's what I'm saying about timing and like the cycle and like fate and the universe. It's just crazy, man. Like, because like, first off, she told me not to propose to her during a show because she thought it would be corny.
So you knew it was coming?
No. She was just
we
like,
knew we were going to spend our lives together.
Yeah, we already knew.
Not
we
marriage.
weren't sure if we were going to get married.
We didn't even want to get married.
We knew we were going to spend the rest of our lives together. That was not a question. But I was like, you know what? Like, I want to do this, and so over a year ago, maybe like in April, May, I was like, oh, okay, I'm going to propose to her when we're in this show because we had found out we were going to be in the next show together. So I was like, all right, I'm going to propose to her during this show. And I knew exactly what I was going to do. She had got me this necklace for Christmas.
When we were in Christmas Girl together.
And she had surprised me with it. Like, I didn't, because I had another one, but it wasn't real gold. And she had gotten it.
It's an actual ace pendant. Yeah. For those of you listening out there, I got to see the video of it.
Yeah, but she had gotten this for me, and I didn't even realize that it was real gold when she had like snuck it onto my necklace, and like, because during the show I take it off, and she had put it on there, whatever, and like had everybody like asking.
God, it was a whole. It's
a whole other thing. Yeah, there's a lot of long stories, but so she had surprised me with this, so I was like, oh, bet, like I'm gonna do the same thing and turn it upside down, put a diamond in it to give her for the proposal. And so like I had gone to the same jeweler, and they had the mold already. So like I was like, hey, this is exactly what I want. Put the diamond in the center. Don't put the diamond in the ring. Like flip it, do that whole thing. They were like, oh, that's cool, whatever. So I had it all planned out. I had a couple jobs lined up. I knew how I was gonna pay for it because I pay for things in cash. I don't really like credit stuff, but so I knew exactly how I was gonna pay for it and everything. And then I called her dad, and I was like, hey, I'm just want to let you know I'm thinking about marrying, asking Gabrielle to marry me and stuff. And he was like, yeah, well, have you prayed about it? Let's talk about it. We talked about that, and then he told no, he didn't. He actually didn't tell anybody. He's like, didn't tell any of the family. But I was like, all right, so this is the day. I called my mom. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about proposing, whatever. I called my uncle, called a couple other people. It was like, hey, like I would love for y'all to be there, to be present. And so as it was coming around, as the day was coming around, I based everything off of my mom flying in from Florida, and I told Carl, I told her dad, I told like everybody to come on this day, because it was gonna happen on the first day of rehearsal. for the show, I go up to the stage manager who runs the show, and I'm like, hey, listen, like, I'm gonna propose on this day. Like, I'm gonna propose. I don't know exactly which day yet, but like, just know that that's happening, and we're gonna have to talk about what that is. I talked to the musician. I was like, hey, I'm gonna sing this song when I propose, like, XYZ. Like,
they was all down with it.
Everybody was down with it. So the only people that knew was the stage manager and the musician. And I was like, please, like, obviously, don't tell anybody. So then, throughout the time, Megan would come in, and she was like talking to me. So, hey, like, is this the day? Da, da, da. And I'm like, yeah, I think this is it. I think it's gonna happen. Like, whatever. And then so my family comes in. I got everything. I got the ring. Like, I had to go pick up the ring when I went to pick up my uncle, because so it would seem like I wasn't.
And we share each other's location.
We
so
share
we
each
turned
other's
off his
location.
I was like, "What's wrong?"
And
Okay.
So she was like, worried and stuff, and I'm like,
he wasn't
I'm just
like
stressing out.
Yeah.
So then the whole day I'm like stressed and like, and like she's saying stuff, and like my mom's here, and I'm like just like kind of like snapping, and like not really snapping, but like not angry, but just like being a little harsh,
right.
Because I'm like stressing because
supposed to be an important
because
day.
because I'm the main thing that was making me nervous was the fact that I was gonna sing. I'm not a singer, and like I knew the song I wanted to sing, and like my voice was going, and like. And the night before, like literally 2 nights before, I was like practicing the song, because she knows I sing the song all the time. Yeah. I was practicing the song, and she was sleeping. She was like, "Baby, what are you doing? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Damn, maybe I shouldn't sing." I'm like, shit, so I'm like extra nervous on the day, and like, and I'm like stressing out. My voice is going, I'm about to sing the song. Like, I need to rehearse. I haven't rehearsed with the musician yet, because like there was no time. Like, she's with me all the time. I couldn't call. I was like sworn to secrecy. I couldn't tell her anything. Couldn't tell anybody. I had to find the right times to be able to practice so I could feel comfortable. I was not comfortable. Like, so I'm stressed. I'm thinking about a whole other thing. She comes up to me before the show starts, and she's like, "Baby, like, I'm just not happy. I don't think I'm happy right now."
You're
and like my family's here. Like, everybody is here. Everyone is here right now, and I'm about to propose to her. Like, and she's like, "I don't know if I'm happy," like almost to tears. Like, and I'm like, "Baby, it's okay. Like, what's going on?" She was like, "I don't know. Like, we can talk about it after. Like, we could talk about it after the show. But like, I don't know. I'm just like, I don't feel good. I don't feel good." And I'm like, "Yo, like, Lord, this is like
of all days,
of all days." But then I'm like, this is actually good, because if this was a day before, like if I was gonna propose a week later, then like, I'll be feeling that, like, we would have talked about it, maybe we would have broken up or something, So I'm like thinking like, this is actually perfect timing. So I know this is gonna fix everything, because she's stressing out, but I'm stressing out. So by the end of the show, like, like I'm like.
And the show's very emotional.
So you still was gonna go through it?
Yeah, oh yeah. And the stage, I mean, everybody's there. My mom's there. Everybody flew in. Like, her family is all here.
Show must go
Came
on.
back. Her family already saw the show.
Yeah.
And they're coming to see the show a second time. Right? And so she's like, "Well, we're gonna see her again." Like, people. She's like, "Oh, you come back," and they, all her family's there. And she's like, "Oh," like just like oblivious, thinking that whatever. And then I had my friend film it. My friend's a great filmmaker. I told her, I told Gabrielle, I was like, "Hey, we got my friend. I got my friend a job to film the DTC documentary footage for the show."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh, that's great. Like, that's awesome. That's why Emily's here." Like, she didn't even think. Because I had to make it clear why Emily was recording, like otherwise it would have,
jig is up.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at surprises if you can't tell by now. But like, so I had so everybody's there, the cameras are on, like everything. So I'm like, all right, here we go. So after the bow, I run and grab her. And we run up this slide. There was a slide in the middle of the stage, in the middle of the set. 22-foot slide. We run up the stairs or whatever. The musician starts playing. I sing this song or whatever. Put the necklace on her and take a knee and propose.
I said, "Hell no, no."
But it was great, man. I mean, it couldn't have gone like more splendid. Like, I mean,
and
the
of course
footage.
I was like,
I mean,
"Forget my sadness.
the footage
I'm happy."
was great. I mean, we'll tell y'all the link of how to get there and stuff. But like, the footage was great. It's just like a great moment that was documented.
That's awesome. So, fellas, if your lady is thinking, Just propose, bro.
Just propose.
See how
That's
it
all it
goes.
takes. That's all it takes.
Just-
But honesty first. Honesty first.
Gotta be honest.
Yeah,
Gotta be
yeah,
honest. Now, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So, in terms of the acting, right? What got both of you guys really like? Where did that love come from? I know you talked about your love for acting. How did it develop for you?
I think that, I dealt with a lot of stuff growing up. I grew up in an abusive household, very toxic and whatnot. But I think for me, theater was the same it is for everyone, an escape. But I happened to just pour a lot into this escape and make it my life. I started singing. Everybody starts singing in church if you're raised in a Christian family. You start singing in church and whatnot, but not in a black church. I'd never been to a black church until my adulthood. So, Baptist churches across America or whatever. And then I just eventually got into acting and trying that out. And I had a scene one time, and just kind of developed into that. And just kept going, just didn't stop. And I did a show in high school called Macbeth, which everybody knows that show is Shakespeare. Macbeth. And it was my first big role playing Lady Macbeth. And my dad came to see it every single show. And I just fell in love with it. I was like, man, I can do this cool stuff. And people believe me. And, people really are celebrating this, that I can tap into whatever this is, And so from that, I just did it in college, and I just kept going. It's morphed a lot. It was more, it started off as me just singing, and then it changed into me just acting, and then it changed into me doing film work, and then it changed into me doing musicals again, and, and it just morphed so much. But it's been incredible getting to, really just tell stories and write stories and all these different ways to create storytelling and be an advocate, more or less. Yeah. Yeah,
I love the whole filmmaking process, the whole acting process. And I love movies in general, right? I'm just a movie buff. I'm the type that I'll go to a movie by myself. I tell people that all the time.
That.
I don't see the big deal.
Sneak in some snacks.
That's my downtime. People be acting like, oh, I can never go to a movie. I'm like, but then I ask them, what was the last movie you saw? And then they can't even think. I'm like, yeah, because if you keep thinking you're going to bring somebody every time you go, you want to see a movie, somebody's not going to like a movie you like, what you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to wait for it to come out on TV? So I'm just, I like a movie, I'm gonna go check it out, and I go see it. But I love the whole. It's a great escape. That and sports for me is that's my thing. So it's awesome that you guys get to both talk about acting. That's that whole similarity, exactly. Role plays and. Yeah. We won't get into that.
So act every day together. No.
Ace, on your profile too, you mentioned about fashion, right? You kind of hinted to that. So talk to me about that. Is there a clothing line involved, or you on a runway? Is that just? Tell me about that.
No, what actually happened was I went to Miami in February, and I've been to Miami several times, but I went for this program called Young Arts, which actually really fostered my love for acting in a lot of ways, and my love for just the arts as a whole, because it's a huge it's a huge organization. They cultivate kids from 15 to 17, young artists that are aspiring. 12,000 kids will apply. 12,000 kids will apply, and only 150 are selected. So what is that? 1-2% of the population, right? They're the top 1%, 1 to 2% in the nation of actors, designers, musicians, everything. They have all 10 disciplines in pretty much every creative field. And that's the only way to become a presidential scholar in the arts. I love this organization. It's basically an arts fraternity. The only problem is that if you don't get in that 15 to 17 gap window, then you can't join Young Arts, whatever. But anyway, so I went through that program. I was lucky enough to find out about it and learn about it. And I, everyone gets flown to Miami. You do a week workshop with master teachers from all over the country. I mean, just masters in that profession. And for a week, it's truly just you and those professors. And you're with like 20 of your peers in every profession. They have filmmaking. They have voice, music and dance, everything. And it's just, it really is amazing. But anyway, so every year or so, I'll go back. You get invited back to either perform or to RA and to like just, you know, help the kids, kind of be a mentor for them as they go through this program.
Kind of give back.
Yeah, exactly. But you get paid. I mean, so you're getting paid, and they'll fly you back. They fly back. They fly you to Miami or wherever it is. They have 3 programs. They have one in Miami, one in New York, and one in LA. And I'm trying to get them to start one in Dallas, in the South. What is this? The South? Mm-hmm. It's the South.
South Dallas.
Where are we?
Well, I was gonna say like Southeast, but it's not really. Like,
no, it's just South. I think.
So, but in this region. But anyway, so I went there in February again, and this time I was a unique position, so I kind of had some free time to just like go around Miami and like just kind of chill, and they had an alumni gathering where they brought like all the alumni and everybody was invited, got free drinks for that night, you know, or whatever. So I went to this party, and when I tell you everybody was beautiful, I'm like, everybody is beautiful. Why is everyone attractive here? Mm-hmm. Why is no one attractive in Dallas? Like, like that's what I'm thinking.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I'm like, oh, it's the style. People know how to dress themselves here. Mm-hmm. People know how to put, how to rock clothes. Like they just know what looks good on them. Mm-hmm. A couple years before that, maybe 4 years ago, I had invited a friend of mine who was going to FIU in Miami, and she wanted to come to SMU to go to their dance program. So she had come and stayed with me or whatever. And like when I tell you, she rocked my world. Like just the shift in her vibe. I mean, she's like this young Latin dancer, like just the vibe, like the way she dressed, the way she talked, the way she moved. I'm like, damn, like totally I need style. That. Yeah, like I like that. And so when I was in Miami, I felt that same rush of like just the vibes and like the style and the fashion. Like people care about how they look. And I
Miami Vice.
I felt a similar way when I went to LA. It's a little bit different. LA is it's a little bit more commercial look, like a commercial looking good. With Miami, it's like just like raw. Everybody's just raw, like looking good, just fresh, just free, just fun,
Fresh, free, fun.
And so after that, I was like, damn, I gotta kind of up my style game up, And this is only 4 or 5 months ago. Mm-hmm. So I'm like,
and we actually went back because on Instagram you can look at archives.
Right.
We went back and we were like, what's the first time he rocked the look? And
this sort of look, and I found it, and I'm like, okay. When I came back, I started like buying different clothes, trying out different stuff, rocking earrings more, like just doing different things. And it was stuff that I had liked, like some things that I had pulled from the costumes that we had in hair. Like I had earrings and like just flowy shirts, just like that kind of hippie vibe, but bringing in some style to it, making it a little bit cooler. The show that I had just done, I had to wear overalls. And like I was like, oh, maybe I can make overalls dope. So I bought this set of overalls, like, just trying out new stuff. And after that, I was like, damn, I'm kind of really like starting to understand fashion and style.
So are you into more like luxury fashion, or is it more like your Balenciagas, your Gucci's, or is it?
I'm really about like
what designers you like.
What looks good on you?
Okay, so not necessarily the big name.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a big
French
name.
design.
What I like, originally I was shopping in H&M like everybody else, like every other dude on the block, like But then, like, once I came back, I was, like, starting to look more at Zara, and, like, which is the higher end of... It's
Club Monaco.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Banana Republic.
Bravatos.
Yeah. And so, like, just...
Banana Republic.
Looking at that stuff and, like, that vibe, like, how the clothes fit on them, and understanding that, like, oh, I could rock this. You have some, and what's crazy about H&M and Zara, for me, I don't know what it is, but it's like my build, their fit model must be my exact dimensions. Because when I buy a suit from them, it's like
You
tailored.
don't need to do nothing to it.
It looks like it's tailored. So I bought several blazers from them. So I was like, oh, let me start rocking some shirts, you know, some crazier shit. Like they always have at Zara, they always have something like crazy pattern on display. Always. And it's like, ain't nobody gonna rock that. Right. I'm like, I'm gonna rock it. Like, you know, I'm gonna do it. You know? so like that, and it really honestly,
and introducing like thrift store.
Yeah, thrift store stuff. And like, and then I was like, oh, you know what I want to do? I travel a lot, so I want to buy earrings in every city that I go to. Okay. And like that's just a vibe, like something I can't get in any other city. So there's always pop-up shops in every city, you know. So I go to the pop-up shop and be like, yo, let me get these. Oh, Dreamcatcher earrings. Like, oh, these I'm an architect, so I carved them out of wood and like cement. Like, dope. Let me have those, you know. And just trying shit that like you wouldn't see other people rocking. I wanted to like make I wanted to bring the fanny pack back, because like dudes don't have a really good way to like carry all the shit we gotta carry, you know. Like we don't have purses, like, you know, or anything like that. So I'm like, I gotta find a cool way to like make the fanny pack dope. So I went to Mexico the other day, and like I bought some trunks, and they had come with a little pouch that you tie into the trunks, right? Like, so you just wear that or whatever. And then like I was like, oh, let me buy a underwater thing for my phone. So I put my phone in there, so now I could carry it anywhere if I go in the water or whatever. Nice. So I was like, all right, bet. Like, you know, but it was like a little cheap little pouch thing, like, right? And I was like, let me get something dope. So on the way back, I'm in the airport. I'm literally in the airport, and I'm like looking around. I'm like looking at this one thing called Pineda Cobalin, right? And I'm like, oh wow, their stuff is dope. All this leather stuff, it looks like it's mostly for women, right? But then I see like in the pictures, it's like a dude rocking this this bomber jacket, like a smooth silk pattern bomber jacket with like leather pockets, and it's all these bright colors like blue and purple and yellow, like yellow zipper and all of that. It was beautiful. And so I was like, look up their stuff. And I was like, oh wow, this is cool. And so I'm talking to the lady. I'm like, yo, do you have any like kind of like a fanny pouch, like this, that, the other thing? She's like, nah, we don't have anything like that. And they had this clutch, right? This like little clutch bag that had a strap. You're supposed to hold this for a woman, like you're supposed to hold it like a little pouch. You put your stuff in it, but you open it up. It's brown, this brown leather pouch. You open it up, and it has this beautiful flower pattern on it, like. So it looks like kind of just simple, simple on the outside. But you open it up, and it's this like beautiful, like it looks like woven, hand stitched kind of pattern, and it's all leather. So I'm like, how much is this? She's like, oh, it's like $300. I'm like, damn. Like, let me just think about this. You know, I'm walking around. Like, is there any way we could come down on it? She's like, no. I'm like walking around. I'm like, the day before I had gotten this like leather backpack. And so I just wanted something to go with the backpack that could be like a pouch, whatever. So I'm like, and you know, it's not really the pouch. It's not the thing I want. So why would I buy it? I'm like, I walk around. I'm in the airport because my flight got delayed for like 3 hours. So I was there for a lot longer than I should have been. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just make it happen. You know, I walked past a shoe store that has these flip flops, and I'm like, oh, how much are these? He's like $50. I'm like, bet. Like, let me get them. I'm like, oh, I got the flip flops. I gotta get the damn. I gotta match it up. Like, I got it all. So I'm like, you know, can I get it for this price? She's like, no, I can't do it. Like, you know, what you could do is like, you could get the tax off because it's from Mexico. Like, you get you just take this to the tax back place and they'll give you the tax back. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, knowing I wasn't gonna fucking do that because nobody does the like mail-in rebate shit. Like, you know,
nobody.
Yeah,
I know exactly that.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let me do it, and then I'm gonna get these golden hooks because everything I have is gold. Like the necklace is gold. It's like I'm gonna get these golden hooks and like kind of hang it off of my belt like a satchel, you know. And so I got that, like got the whole thing, got the belt hooks, like too. I bought a whole pack off of Amazon when I got back home, and I started rocking it, you know. And I was like, oh, this is convenient. Like chicks been holding out. Like, we got somewhere to put your shit. Like, you know, you know, I'm like, damn, you know, I should have been doing this all the time. So after that, I was like, you know, I want to start designing and creating like just cool vibe stuff that's like
that men can
that
wear
men can rock.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't have to feel like, you know. Then I started like doing capri, like kind of like rolling up my pants like capris, like, you know, because that's a big thing in London. You know, dudes like rock capri. I mean, they make capris for men, like it's a big thing. But like, you know, showing off the ankles and stuff, like, you know, because like a lot of that stuff, you know, was crazy. A lot of that stuff evolved from men's fashion and was given into the women's fashion. Like it evolved, you know, and now it's like exclusively women's things, like, you know.
Like high heels.
High heels was invented for men, right? Because they were supposed to be taller, right?
Okay.
You know, so a lot of the fashion stuff that women have, they evolved from male products, and so like I'm just trying to find vibes. Like I've always been known for wearing hats, like for wearing fedoras or like the kind of long brim hats. So I like started rocking those a little bit more. Like you know,
started really finding your own style.
Yeah, like finding my style, and I'm like, oh, okay, like I could do this for myself, and I know now I can see what looks good on certain people, and like it's a part of branding. Right? Like you got to be able to brand yourself. You got to be able to look the look and work on the vibe. Like I work for this I did some branding work for this magician, and like I did all his design, like his logo and everything. And I was like, you know, if you want your brand to look like this, your style has to match it. So we would spend like 2 hours just talking about like style and like fashion and how he could rock that, like, you know, and what looks good on him, because like what looks good on me is not gonna not gonna work for you. Right. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta you gotta fill your wardrobe with stuff that looks good on you, right? Look, because and what I see people do in Dallas, especially when the damn thrift store fad hit, they just copy styles that they see on mannequins or like on other people, right? Or like they're just basically biting these styles, but it's not really fit for them. Yeah, in Miami, in LA, even in New York, you're wearing things that look good on you, right? You can rock that. That's something that's personal to you. Okay, I got these cool, unique earrings. Oh, like I'm like everybody's a jewelry maker, has pop-up shops, does these different things, like ties shit in different ways, or like unbuttons their shirt in a certain way, or like has it off the sleeve, half it, you know, like. And I think that's kind of been bleeding into both of our fashion. Like we're just trying out different stuff,
comfortable,
like, you know,
but sexy,
comfortable but sexy, and it's not hard. Like now, I feel like very confident when I go into my closet. Oh, okay, I could put these things together. Oh, this is missing this. This is a good shirt, but it doesn't look good with this thing, or it doesn't look good on me. Maybe I shouldn't buy that. You know, and I feel very confident about that now. And I think that's all a culmination of me like really understanding my voice, my own voice as an artist, which is a huge thing that's been like a hurdle for me. I spend a lot of time designing for other brands and working for other brands that I haven't, like I kind of give myself, I give myself the like hand-me-down design stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, I could kind of put that together. Let me just throw up a website because I need it, you know, and I want it to look good. I want it to have my stuff on it, but it's not like me, you know, it's not my own voice. And so in discovering my fashion, I'm starting to understand my design, like the design stuff, my writing voice, like my photography voice has even changed in the last month. Just like understanding what my look is, you know, not just shooting because I know how to shoot, or not just designing because I know how to design. Like, what is the aesthetic? You know?
I see what you did there. I see what you did there.
He said full circle.
Yeah, so.
Nah, I feel you.
That's
I feel
how
you.
it works, yeah.
Now, the photography, definitely, because you got your camera here with you.
Yeah.
The Canon. I like that. I like that.
I'm actually about to switch over to Sony, man.
Okay.
After we just shot a commercial.
You want to go for like a smaller lineup?
We shot with Jeremy Biggers. I don't know if you know him. Stem and Thorn is his like brand. He's an amazing artist in the community. He's done a lot of the murals around here in Deep Ellum.
He did the Selena one.
The Selena one that's in Oak Cliff. He did Pizza Lounge. If you see the Ninja Turtles on the wall, that's him. Like, so he's done a lot of stuff around here, and he's also a photographer. And he's also a photographer and a film director. So, and I've been wanting to work with him. Honestly, I've been wanting to work with him for a long time.
If he's listening, we need an Aretha Franklin one. You know, she just passed, man. You know, rest in peace to her, man. So if he's down, there's plenty of room. We need one. Somebody got to put one up in Deep Ellum, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, but he was putting me on to the Sony because he was like, I got the Sony A7 III, and I'm like, all about it. Like he was like, come over, the water is fine. She's really been.
Oh, I've shot all of his stuff.
She's really been instrumental in like helping me with my business because.
Talk about that because I know I don't know if you guys mentioned because I know the One Great Vegan, Ace Places blog. You have Ace Shot It, right? Yeah. Those are independent. But tell me how you guys work together on the projects that both of you guys do.
So when we met, I mean the business, the office that I had downtown was the Striped Heart, which is a creative agency that I started, and it was just a culmination of everything that I do. And it was design, photography, and video for multiple brand. I mean, any type of brand, but I like to focus on like nonprofit, like theater organizations, because that's my home. You know, so making theater look cool, look good, look well branded, and well thought out. That was really important for me. And when I was in that downward spiral was when me and my partner were splitting up. She came in and I was like, listen, I just need help managing,
organizing, scheduling.
I can't, because I am not that type. Like, I don't know if you guys, if anybody listening or you do the Myers-Briggs, have done the Myers-Briggs 16 personalities test.
Oh, yeah, I've done that.
Yo, it is, I mean, like, honestly, when I read it, a friend of mine told me about it, I did it, and it changed my just whole understanding of myself and how I navigate, because you now have the tools. You see yourself on paper and you can say, oh, okay, these are my strengths. Let me go forward in that direction, right? Like, let me work on my strengths and not really like, oh man, I need to be better about scheduling. Like, I will never be good at scheduling. That's not something. I'll never be good at like doing the like nitty gritty, like that type of stuff. Like, that's not my stuff. Like, I don't plan. Everything is in the moment. I'm very much like that. And so now understanding that, being able to read it, I'm like, okay, these are my strengths. These are her strengths. Let's figure out how we could build and work those things together.
So you guys complement each other
in a very good way, like in a very strong way.
That's how it should be.
No, for real. Like, I mean, when it comes to like planning, I mean, reaching out, getting emails sent, like
just getting shit done, man.
I mean, like,
for
honestly,
me, it's easy.
I will have so many jobs like lost, honestly, like if it wasn't for her being like good with correspondence and like getting stuff done on time, like making sure things are done, reminding me about shit. Like, literally when we first started, all I needed was somebody to just remind me to get some shit done. Like, just because like I'm so like what's in front of me, you know.
And
like,
I think we've kind of figured it out. It's taken us, 2 years of kind of
trying, trial and error.
Do we put it in the calendar, or do we just kind of like?
Should we get an app like that works on this, or should I update everything here? Yeah, we tried a bunch of different stuff, and we're finally beginning to find something that works for us.
Yeah, just tell each other about shit.
Yeah, it's really simple. I mean, it really is simple. Like, yeah, just tell each other about stuff. Like, she understands, like, okay, I'll be like in charge of corresponding and making sure people know stuff, like, and I'll send emails. I'll make sure that, like, because as soon as somebody tells me about something, I like send them directly to her, because I know, like, somebody be like, hey, can you shoot my headshots? And I'll never think about it ever again. I'm like, yeah, of course. Like, okay, next week, sure. And then next week comes, I never even remember. So literally, somebody will hit me up, and I'm like, send it to her. Like, yeah, exactly.
If you want to get anything done,
if you want to get anything, like, she's gonna be in charge, and I have like literally I copy and paste the email that's like that's like, look, if
this is
Gabrielle Reyes, she's gonna be helping you with coordination and everything else. Like, when it comes down to price, I got you if you have any other detailed questions, but like, I just like to show up. That's how I work best. That's how I work best. And that's been really, I mean, she's been instrumental in making the brand what it is. Not because like she's not obviously designing or shooting anything, but
your assistant.
Yeah, but truly the fact that like she's there has allowed me to do what I do best, which is design, which is show up, make the quality of work there, and she can be there to facilitate and help that, okay, like even at shoots, she'll be like, did you want to tell me your vision, like what is the things that you wanted to do, and then she'll come to me and break it down and be like
one of the first things we did together was go to a shoot.
Yeah,
and I helped him with the shoot.
That's how our relationship has kind of built, and like recognizing that she has a different understanding than I do.
I'm good at just like
And I'm a quick learner. Like I can learn, like because at first she taught me like something that's simple. Maybe other people think it's simple, like, but it blew my mind. She was like, "Oh, I set my alarm to 10 minutes before I want to wake up," and I was like, "Huh."
So I can just
interesting.
sit.
It's an old trick.
And so like she would set her alarm, and then she set another alarm so if it's at 8 o'clock, she wants to set it at 7:50, and then she has an 8 o'clock alarm. So you wake up, you're ready, you're not like groggy, so you don't take that 10 minutes at 8 o'clock. Now it's 8:10 to get out of bed. All right, let me finally got to do it. But now it's like 7:50 rolling around. Boom. All right, I'm up. I know I could just kind of relax. You know, and she does things based on times, right? Like that's something I never even thought. I don't even think about time. But she would be like, "All right, it's 7:57. We got 3 minutes to do." Like she'll round up to the whole number to do something. You know, okay, you know, it's 7:45. We got 5 minutes left. You know, like to do whatever it is. Yeah,
she's more of the organized one.
Exactly. And what we found out too, which is crazy, is that it bleeds into like other things like home life. So she is, she's very organized and tidy, and I'm very clean. Right, which is different.
Actually, like
I like I don't like stuff on the fork. Like I'm looking at the fork or whatever.
But that doesn't bother me.
That doesn't bother her. But she'll make sure all the forks are in the same place, right? And so like I'm clean. Like so she'll come around and like in the morning. We have a cat, and like he'll like track litter in certain areas, and so she'll come around and like she'll sweep it up and make sure it's tidy. I'll go in with the Swiffer and like actually clean up the floor. I'm like, I don't want no shit on the floor.
It just needs to look cute to other people. You don't need to know our details.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
saying? But I'm like,
saying?
gotta get in there, you know, whatever. And so it's funny because sometimes like she'll grab a glass for me or something, and I'll be like, look at the glass.
He will
like I'll put it back, you know, put the glass back, and, you know, get a different one, and she'll give me like a napkin or something, because we have cloth napkins that we wash every day. Like she'll give me something with something on it, and I'll like take the napkin. She's like, what do you need? I'm like, oh no, I'm good, you know, I'm just gonna switch out this napkin with the clean one, you know. Or like if I watch, like I can't be around her washing the dishes, or else I'm gonna need to get involved. Like making sure the dishes are washed properly, you know, the way that I like them. What do you? That's just how it is. Like, but it's funny because we compliment each other in that way. Like, that's how it so our house is very tidy. Like our house is always very clean.
Your house is very clean too. This is like, this is good.
Yeah, we go. I mean, at a lot of people, we go to a lot of people's places, and it's just like,
we worry. I worry for them.
I couldn't do it. Oh my god, yo.
Bro, I can't live. There will be no pee.
I can't take it.
There will be no food in the bedroom, my G. What you doing? What you mean? You trying to bring eggs up in this bitch? What? No.
Nah, I blame my mama for that, man. Mama raised me well. She was all about that. She was all about the cleaning, and because her thing was like, she instilled in my head like, listen, people not gonna tell it to you to your face, but I'm telling you right now, if you continue doing this, they're gonna see that and they're gonna walk away and they're gonna think this, and I'm like,
people are gonna take you seriously.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I should just do everything inside my car. Like I remember I had one person tell me, dude, you have like the cleanest trunk I've ever seen for a man. Like, because usually dudes just pile everything in their car, like everything.
Messy,
my thing is clean. I like to keep it light, you know what I mean? So to me, my thing is this: the cleanlier, you know, your environment is, you know, I think it's more of a mental thing for me.
Clear.
You see what I'm saying? Because when you have a lot of when you have clutter around you, then your mind is cluttered. But if everything is clean, then you can at least, that goes a long way, because at least you know, all right, there's some order.
Yeah, and that's how I start.
You start from a good foundation.
And now that you're mentioning that, that's truly how I start every single job I do. It has to be clean before I start cooking, obviously, because like I'm cooking, but like not even just the kitchen has to be clean. The bed has to be made, and you know, everything has to be really, really. Are you gonna talk about the drawers?
No. She don't ever close drawers, yo. Like that, I just learned that. I'm like, why is it so hard for you to close a drawer? Like she'll like just
always
leave
on
the door open.
Like,
I'm like,
that's what it is.
But I'm like, doesn't that not look clean? Like to me, it looks tidy if it's closed.
Yeah, you're right. I just forget.
But it's funny that you're saying that, because when I start a project, I need to make sure that the space is clear, but I want everything else like just out where I could see it, right? Like, so if I was gonna clean up, like let's say I was gonna like design this place, right? I would just pile everything into one space.
Start from scratch.
Yeah, start from scratch. But I need the space. I need to be able to see what it is. Okay, we got some chairs. We got the couch. Okay, now I can see. I'm gonna put the couch here, and then I could put the mic stand here. I could put the table here. You know, like I can kind of see if I have everything here. So like when somebody's like, I'm gonna like, people have come over to my place when I'm doing like a huge, just like changing everything in the house, and like when I tell you, it looks like a complete mess. Like just
like hoarders.
Yeah, it looks like everything is out. That's how it was when we first moved in together. Like everything was everywhere. She was like, oh, I just need some order. I just need some order. I'm like, it's all good. We're just figuring out like one thing at a time.
The thing that
Let's
we're really good at both doing is organizing things together. Like last night, we were just like, shit, we got to organize some shit. Okay, and so we just
because I'm good at spatial awareness and she's good at making categories. I am terrible at categories. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's so difficult. It's so difficult to like.
I remember I read a book which kind of sums up you guys. If I could, it's called "Men Are Waffles and Women Are Spaghetti." His I probably got the name screwed up, but in that context. But people, why they say that? They say men are more compartmentalized, right? You know, your homeboys is your homeboys. The people at your job is your job. Your lady's your lady. We separate those things. Women is spaghetti because they intertwine everything. Nothing is compartmentalized.
Right.
If their homegirl pissed them off, it's gonna leak over to what their relationship with their man. Like if they don't feel a certain way, they can't just leave it at the job. You know what I mean? If something annoyed them, like so it's and then that was a good book, and it talked about how, you know, we kind of, again, the yin to the yang, you know, being able to complement each other because of those things. They say women are better multitaskers, you know, which is why, you know, when they tend to have children, they're better at that whole thing of like juggling this and that. When a man is just like, yo, you know, I'll be home at 5. You know what I mean? Like you leave us home for a day, we're like, you know, we just want to put them to do one thing, like, yo, just do this, and that's it. Well, woman's like, nah, he's gonna do this while I do that, and then while I'm gonna do this. You see what I'm saying? Good at so it's probably more innate than you probably think, and that's how it is. When things are functioning correctly, that's how it usually is. What do you guys got going on that maybe I didn't cover? Because man, we've been talking, we've been going. But I want to make sure that I cover some of the things we talked about a lot already. But are there some things that you guys have coming up very soon? Events or things?
One Great Vegan's going to be at the Texas Veggie Fair. So that'll be
fun.
Yeah.
That's what's up. I'm definitely going to be there.
Yeah,
that's in was it September, October?
It's in October 27th, I believe. But really excited. Just kind of finalized that today. Like we're going to be there selling just good food, like just really good food.
I'm excited for you guys, man. That's what's up.
It's cool because it's going to be one of the biggest things we've branded for the company. You know, we've done all the electronic branding. You know,
but this is like physical. Like we
have a couple of things for the pop-ups that she's done, but like it's going to be exciting to create like everything in
a vision of what that looks like.
What's really cool too about her and like working with her, this new company, is that a lot of my clients don't necessarily use the brand that I create for them. So I'll create like a whole color scheme. I'll create, you know, tell them what their typography is, and like just like a whole visual look. And they don't take that and run with it. They like, you know, they might use the logo or make some business cards, but then if the business kind of flops, then they just kind of, they don't really utilize the brand. Gotcha. And what she has done is really capitalized on the brand that I've created, right? So like I made, like, purple was kind of the color, and like when she went shopping to go get all of her stuff, she bought like purple cups and like purple, like, you know, plates and everything, like really trying to like, okay, understanding that the brand that was built, and let's work within this kind of confine. And she's created some stuff for herself that still even lives within that world, right? She has like an app that she can create like little ads and like videos and whatever, and she can do that stuff herself, but she's like fitting it within whatever the brand already was created, which is not what a lot of clients do. Like clients will see it and be like, oh, that's cool, like, damn, why is it so much for a logo? Well, it's not just a logo, it's your entire identity. It's who you are. So you got to use all of that.
I agree.
You know.
Yeah, but other than that, I mean, we're both we're headed to LA, and he has a premiere coming up.
Do you?
Yeah. Did a short film in LA a year ago, and it's going to premiere in September 9th,
what
I think.
What word was that?
September 9th in LA.
Congratulations on that.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's my first short film, like my first.
That you're acting in, or did you actually come up with the?
I'm acting in it. Yeah. I got cast in. I mean, I sent in my tape, and just like everybody else, and they worked around my schedule because I was really in a show at the same time. Okay. They were like, "We really want you for this part, and like, can you make it happen?" And we made it happen.
Can you speak to? Obviously not, but what your role is on there? Like, what are you playing as?
So the movie, the story is about a young rapper in the '90s. It's a fictional story, but it's based in reality. A young rapper in the '90s who is struggling with homosexuality, his own homosexuality, and dealing with that because it's a taboo in the black community, especially in hip hop, right? It's just like not talked about. It's a little bit accepted for girls, like for women, but like not at all for men. Like we don't talk about it. So I play his brother in the film, and they just really they thought that we would have really good chemistry. And it's a 15-minute short. I mean, I don't really know what it's going to turn out to be.
You just played your...
But I'm really excited for it. I mean, we met, and it was really like NWA. We met. It was because there's 4 guys that were the leads in the short. And literally the time we met, like we were just cracking jokes on each other, like we already had a relationship, an hour into filming, so like then the next day when we were actually filming like the brother scenes and like all of that stuff, we already had vibes, and we were spending all day with each other on the set, so it was like chilling, like getting food, like cracking on each other, and it was just really an awesome vibe.
Is that your first like real 15-minute
that's
short film? It's widely going to be shown, like that's your first
and she's sending it out to film festivals and
that's
stuff.
Awesome.
And it's awesome. Really cool. So we're going to LA because of that, plus the fact that normally I do a show my company membership, I'm a full-time company member at Dallas Theater Center. That means that I have to do at least 4 shows a season and 1 teaching opportunity. So each show is about a 2-month obligation. So that's 10 months of work. But the way that this season lines up, there was a 6-month gap between the 2 shows that I was in. So from May to December, I don't have any shows. So this is a unique time. Like normally I'm in a show back to back to back, but so I'm required to do 10 months of work at least in a teaching gig, which is in the summer or whatever. But so from May to November, or May to December, I don't have any shows. So it's a really good time for us to head to LA.
Yeah. And
right?
We got
just take the time.
Awesome opportunities.
And
going on
what's really great, Hurts, is that I'm still getting paid because I'm on a 52-week contract.
Nice.
So they're still paying me, and I can take this time, which is not a time that I'll have again in the foreseeable future, because my season is lined up to go to September again of next year. So So this is a great time to go to LA, audition while the film is about to come out. People are seeing me. We can
line up some agents.
We can line up meetings with agencies and stuff like that to break into the film world. Because what I believe is, like, if the people want you, like they'll make it work. They'll make it work. Like, even though I'm here in Dallas, I'm based in Dallas. Like, if they want to work with me, just like for this short film, they can work around the schedule. Like, okay, I can only film during these 2 weeks, or I can only film, here and here. Can you make that work? They should be able to, especially if they really want you, if they think that you're a good actor. And then on top of that, we've been doing our own, like, we don't stop there. We've been putting together our own stuff. Like we're writing a short film, web series right now based on our relationship.
Nice.
But like it's going to be a drama actually, because a lot of people think it's going to be a comedy based on us. But like, because everybody's like, oh, that's going to be so funny. That's going to be so funny.
I'm thinking that too.
But
no, it's going to be like us, but making the opposite decisions that we make.
Yeah, yeah. So like the relationship, like if it would end, if some of the arguments that we've had ended not well, you know, and so we're working on that, and that's cool because then we can film our friends, you know, get our friends and people, actors in the community, and we can just put them on camera who don't have a lot of experience but are amazing actors and actresses. And so that's what we're working on. But my next project, like my next big thing, isn't until December, but I'm going to be in Sweat. So if anybody come see the show, you know, tell people about it. It's
Dallas
an
Theater
amazing.
Center. It's like
Dallas Theater
5
Center,
minutes from here.
Yeah, literally 5 minutes from here.
Okay.
And then
it's on Elm.
No, it's on Flores Street, off of Ross.
Okay.
Off of Ross right here. So yeah, it's right up the street, man. In the Arts District, and another thing a lot of people don't notice, but did you know that the Dallas Arts District is the largest arts district in the country?
I could believe that.
The largest arts district
they
in
got
the country.
room.
I could believe
they
that.
got all this space, but a lot of people don't know about that, and it's not built well. Like we need to be knocking down some doors because like it's not built to where people could walk. Right, there's not a lot of signage. Yeah, right. There's not like there's not affordable restaurants. So you go see a show, you have to have a car. You have to valet, which is $20. You have to go you have to use their stuff. So they're not really building it for us, and we need to be shouting about that stuff to like make a change because then all these theater companies, all these arts organizations are suffering because they're not getting the right audiences, and then they're like, you know, how do we get diverse audiences? How do we get these people? How do we get people to know about it? Oh, I guess they don't like theater, and it's not that people don't like theater; they just don't know that it's happening here, you know. And so that's a big thing.
But it's really cool. So he's gonna be working on that, and then I mean his company is obviously
the design company. But I mean the reason, like all the stuff I'm passionate about, I've been talking about, is why Aces Places was created, just to like let people know about the shit that's happening here. Like, people don't realize all of the amazing stuff, and you kind of have to drive around like and find out stuff, you know, and like look for yourself and see.
Dude, you're talking to the right dude. I have a video that I put out on YouTube, literally a week into me coming here, and it's called Dallas Pros and Cons. It has over, I think the last time I checked, it was like 65,000 views.
Oh wow! And
till this day, like I still get people love the video because I kind of give my perspective, and especially since it was so new. Obviously, if I was to do it again today, some things would change, but it's like literally I'm here for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, let me just throw this video out. I'm coming from up north, I'm coming from New York, and I'm here, and I'm just telling people exactly what I see raw. Like, boom, here's what I'm seeing. And so people love the video, but till this day, I still get people that will like hit me with questions like, oh, you know what to do in Dallas, and but they're so intrigued by, oh, I'm moving to Dallas and this and that, and I'm like,
so there's a want for it.
Okay, you know, so there's definitely a lot happening, but I always tell people that I'm like, yo, there's a lot going on here. You know, you're not aware of it, but I'm like, I always tell people what throws them off is the fact that you don't see people out in the streets walking. There's always a lot of people. There's always a lot of things going on in Dallas that people really take for granted. It's just that, like you said, you just got to know where things are going on, you know, and it's very family oriented, and that's why I always tell people, at least for over here, you know, you got to go out, you got to do the things you enjoy doing, and when you meet people, like once you start meeting people, they're gonna invite you out, or they're gonna at least tell you about things, and you gotta just roll with it. Literally, like I mentioned to you, that's how I met Courtney. I kid you not, I'm not. Second day I was here.
Wow.
Like, so when I tell people, when people come in, they're like, man, I don't know what to do, and I can't find. I'm like, dude, I didn't go out. I didn't go out like literally with a sign. I need to make friends. Like I just look. I was just minding my business. I'm just doing what I need to do. You know, I gotta eat, so I was in Whole Foods grabbing stuff, and then dude see me. He's like, you know, I'm like, all right, cool. He's like, there's an event later. I'm like, all right, cool. And it every person. It was like a book signing.
Oh,
it was a book that was coming out. It was November of 2016. You'll see. I'm actually going to be dropping Courtney's podcast, so you guys could check it out because we actually talk about that, and she remembers the exact day. And so it was not too far from Pizza Lounge.
Oh, okay.
So again, this is all new to me. So they invited me. So I'm like, I don't know the area yet. So I'm like, all right, yeah, sure, I'll go. And then I remember I looked at my phone, and wherever they were talking about was like 5 minutes away from me. And I'm like, I bet. You know what I mean? I'm like, because in my head, I'm thinking, I'm seeing how I have to drive everywhere. So I'm like, I don't know if I'm agreeing to something and it's like 40 minutes out or an hour out. Like, I don't know. But they're like, oh, no, it should be close to you. I remember pulling it up. I'm like, oh, it's right over there.
Now, you really picked a great spot to live.
Yeah, honestly. Man.
This is a good spot.
But like what I was saying is like people will end up moving away, right? Starting these families, and then everybody's from like Plano or McKinney or Arlington or all these other cities, right? And they come to Dallas to work, right? They work till 5, 6 o'clock, and then the city shuts down because they leave. They go back home and do their thing out in their own place. So the fact that the school districts here, they're not keeping people here. They're not making it a way to make people want to live and work here in this city. But it's like, oh no, let's just build a bigger highway. Let's make 6-lane highway. Let's make a 7-lane highway. Let's make it more accessible to other cities. But
so
it's like, nah, that's not going to keep people here. You got to cut it off, just like New York. You got to compact it into an island, and make everything confined to this space, and that's how you keep people there. Right?
I agree.
You put all the jobs there, put all the good schools there, put everything there, right?
Yeah. But Deep Ellum is probably my favorite part of Dallas for sure.
It's growing. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. It's growing.
It was a lot different. I mean, honestly,
from what I hear,
like 6 years ago, I remember coming out here to Angry Dog, ribs or something. They got ribs or chicken wings, and I remember it was like sketch, bro. It was a Saturday night sketch city. Like real talk, like
that's what I hear.
Yeah, it was like nobody was out here, nobody was out on the town.
I wonder what changed. Probably the music scene.
Honestly, even 4 years ago when I told you that chick came from Miami, she didn't end up going to SMU because she hated Dallas. Well, she didn't hate Dallas, but she was like, this is so weird. Like, we went out on a Friday night right after we saw a show. Went out on a Friday night, walked to this restaurant. All the restaurants closed. Bro, it's Friday night. This is 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, everything is shut down. Like, the city shuts down. Like, they'd be like, oh, well, like, they had this advertisement that was like, after you go see the show, it was a New Year's Eve after advertisement. After you go see the show, you can make it home just in time before midnight. Bitch, make it home? What you mean make it home? Stay out, like hang out. It's trying to get people home before midnight. It's only a 7:30 show, so you can get home in time. Friday night, bro. Like, what are you talking about? And that's just it's a sickness here. But I want to ask you, what's your favorite part of Dallas so far?
Oh man, my favorite part. You mean like favorite thing to do, or just this in general?
Your favorite thing. Why
so
you here?
My favorite thing is the people. I find that it's more relaxing. It's a slower pace. So people
from New York.
Yeah. So people are generally nicer. I also I like the weather. I prefer, if I had to choose, I would choose somewhere where it's hot, not somewhere where it's cold. If I had to choose. New York it's mostly cold, so when it comes summertime, it's like people are like trying to take advantage of it. Like, I remember like the June, July, August months, like I'm trying to do the most because I know once it's over, it's over. Once October come, it's October, November, December, January, February, March. It's you're not seeing a pair of shorts no time soon. And so coming out here, I enjoy the heat. Also,
that is the first time I've ever heard anyone say, I enjoy the heat.
I'm an outdoors person. I like to be.
I mean, Dallas is also very air conditioned, so it's not like you stuck in the heat, like unable to move.
Right, and it doesn't stop people. People still go out. People still do things. So I enjoy that. Also, I just I mentioned the pacing. Also, I enjoy like how everything is just kind of spaced out in a way. Like I like that. Like I like how each place is a different world. Like you talked about certain places. If I decide right now I'm gonna go to Plano, I'm gonna get a different experience. If I decide I'm gonna go to Dallas Fort Worth, I'm gonna get a different experience. If I decide, so Oak Cliff and all these different places like I could go to, and I'm gonna get a different experience, a different vibe. You see what I'm saying? So it's not like I'm confounded to one thing. I feel like in New York, for me, most of the people didn't want to go outside of their area like that, and if they did, they were gonna leave their area and go straight to Manhattan and then back. Like nobody was from Harlem was hanging out in Brooklyn.
Because
crazy. You see
like,
what I'm saying?
People
it's
in the
like,
Bronx, like
they
be like,
stay in
come
the
out
Bronx.
here. They in the Bronx.
They
like,
just stay in the Bronx because they just, again, you get so used to like your own thing, and it's like, nah, I ain't going over there. I ain't trying to deal with all of that unless it's for a reason. I'm gonna go there to party or whatever, and then they come right back. Here, I'm like I said, you could go. I could say, yo, we going to Plano, we going to Frisco, we going.
That's not like crazy.
Yeah, and it's like it's a different experience. Let's go to McKinney Town. Wow. It's a different experience. I like that, I feel like Dallas is like each area is being developed, in a way where there's something going on in those areas. So I like that. I like the fact that everything is not just in one place. Everybody's not going to one area. That's how it was in New York. It was like once everybody knew the hot spot, that's where everybody's going. People ain't going to all the place. It's like they're going to that spot, that same spot in Manhattan, that same spot in BK. Like that's the spot. Here it's like there's no one spot. You could say, I'm gonna go to the Bomb Factory.
What flavor you want?
You could say, it's like, what do you want to do? You see what I'm saying? It's like, all right, cool. Let's go here. Let's go there. And so, I like that. Where some people feel like that's not cool. They want everything in one box. I'm like, nah. I like being able to go I like being able to go to drive 3 hours to Austin. And get a totally different experience. You see what I'm saying?
Or Galveston.
Exactly. Galveston, get a totally different experience. Where in New York, I was so used to like, okay, if I want to go to the beach, everybody's going to that one beach. Right. Everybody's going to Coney Island. Everybody's going over here. Here, it's like, all right, take a trip, go over there. You feel like you meeting a totally different set of people who's into a totally different set of things.
Very
so
true.
I'm like, that's why I laugh. Like, yo, y'all don't understand how big Texas is. So when people ask me, because they'll ask me like, oh, what to do, what are some places to go? I'm like, you have a cell phone? Like, what are you like? What are you into? Like, I don't know what to tell you because I'm like, this one's like, oh, do they have any day parties? As if like there's no day party. I'm like, hold on, Google. I'm like, I just sent her like a list of things. I'm like,
Instagram.
Why you think there's like this stuff isn't going on here? Like it's only happening in one place. So I like that whole scene, man. But yeah, for me, it just gives me an opportunity to think. And really settle down. And really kind of slow down and kind of really think and plot and plan. Where in New York, it's like it's very read and react.
Very true.
You see what I'm saying? Here, it's like I don't have to just react. I can actually plan. Then move forward.
And that's why it's great to start a business here. Really, I mean, there's just room, there's space, there's the market. It's up and coming.
And that's what I'm feeling now too. Like with Ace's Places, it's been about 2 months. Like where I'm like, all right, I'm about to start this thing, but I can take those 2 months. I'm not like, I gotta get this out now before anybody, like I'm still like trying to finesse it. I want to make sure it's right before I really like put it out and like just make it a thing, and so that's really nice that you say that you can take that time to really just have the brain space to think about what exactly you want to do. How do I want to tackle this? I don't feel rushed. I don't feel the pressure of like I need to start something or I'm not making any money. I need to do this thing. So that's really great.
Like I have a quote and I say it all the time. It's go where there's no path and make a trail. And so that's how I thought about Dallas, because I'm like, yo, literally when I tell you I was this close to LA, because I love me some LA, I love me some beach, I was this close, but for me it was like, okay, all right, really analyze what is it that you want to do, like what's really going on, and then for me it was like coming here, I'm like, yo, this fits my personality better. It's like, all right, because I'm a chill, I'm a laid back dude. You see what I'm saying? I could do a little bit of both. You could drop me in LA, and I'll survive. What I mean? I'll get around, I'll do my thing, but it's like I'm always gonna end up coming back to this. It's like I'm always end up coming back to this kind of mode where it's like, put me close to somewhere where it's quiet. I like to be where it's quiet, but then I know where I could go where there's things going on. So even over here, it's like we've been talking you don't hear much going on.
Right.
But then if I say, all right, let's go walk 2-3 blocks down, it's a totally different experience. Right. Everybody's out. So I like that,
Very
still getting that city vibe. So, but yeah, that's my story cool, there, man.
Do you so you had mentioned if there's a favorite thing to do? Do you have a favorite thing to do here? Like,
oh man, I love going by White Rock.
Yo, I love that.
Going
we
over
go there
there
all the time. Just take a walk. We were gonna go there today.
I love to go over there, ride my bike. You see, I have over there.
Yeah.
I love to do that. I love to go to the movies over here. Like I love that movie theater in North Park. Where it's just,
yeah.
I'm not used to that. Again, I'm not used to like the big.
Have you ever gone to the Angelica over in Mockingbird Station? That's a beautiful one.
Yeah.
That's a nice one. And it's like, it's still big. I mean, it's a smaller theater than most theaters, but it's like kind of like, you've seen real excited.
I thought of a really cool idea. Like the other day, and it has to do with movie theaters.
Oh, okay. Cool. Share it.
Oh,
please.
Okay. So I had an idea that would be so much fun if there was a movie theater that served food, but it was all vegan breakfast food.
Oh, that would be dope.
Oh, yeah, that would be dope.
Dangerous for them, though. They'd be like, fuck. I don't know if the minute they slap vegan on, I think they need to start with having some options.
No, it'd be like Cinnaholic. Like, you don't know that Cinnaholic is vegan, but like you just come and it's breakfast food. Yeah.
True.
You know what I'm saying? And you like, we gotta go because think of yes. Mm-hmm. You just Spiral. You don't not from the name. You're not like that's vegan or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like you just go to see all the other movies you would go see.
I agree. I think I would love for movies to be more vegan friendly because nowadays.
Well, one of them is Alamo Draft House is pretty vegan friendly. They have like a lot of options. I know Courtney's posted about it actually.
Yes. Yeah. Legacy West has a lot of vegan options over there.
Nice.
Another thing that I did when I first came here to visit, which that I really like, is the art museum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's to my knowledge, it's the biggest, and it's free.
Yeah.
In the country, like.
And the Science Museum is dope too.
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. If I go to Manhattan, if I go to the MoMA, like you gotta pay a fee to get up in there. I'm walking in here and I'm like, and they have events and they have things that's going on.
Yeah,
there's an event tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it just and I like artistic. It's like I like to get inspiration, from seeing just what's out there. So that really attracted me too. Like I always felt like in Dallas they create things where they want people to. They want you to sit and relax. They want you to stay there.
Yeah.
If you notice, most of these restaurants, it's a rooftop. It's some sort of seating. In New York, it could be just due to the demographic or the space. Yeah. But it's like they don't. Everything is in and out. It's time to go. Where here, it's like, chill. Dude, they got chairs outside over here. They got chairs over there. Yeah. It's almost like you're not in a rush. You like, let me just sit down and eat this real quick.
A lot more benches just in Dallas all around and in all the other cities.
So I like that. I like that whole vibe, But guys, thank you so much for coming on here. Cool. Thank you so much for coming on here. One last time before I sign out, tell us where to find you on social media. You can find me at One Great Vegan on all platforms or Gabrielle V. Reyes. Yeah. Okay. And you can find me at ashotThat on Instagram or go to ashotThat.com. All right. Yeah. And it's the Built for Anything podcast. Thank you guys. If you're out there in YouTube world, thank you for watching this podcast. If you're listening to it, thank you for listening. Again, leave your comments, leave your reviews. Let us know what you think of this episode. Peace and love. We'll catch you on the next episode. Thank you guys. Bye.